runway via Tanka.
Via Whiskey 5, November 5 Whiskey Coast 7 left, taxi 403, via Tango, Rapido.
Shuttle 8 Uniform via November Bravo to Whiskey line up runway 27 left. Shuttle 8 Uniform via November Bravo to Whiskey
Hello
line up
everybody,
runway 27
and
left.
welcome back to the channel. Got a little sidetrack there, writing some notes down from the ATIS information. A very warm welcome to all of you,
Shuttle 8 Golf Taxi Alpha.
and thank you for tuning in. We're live on VATSIM
Alpha short London, short
at Heathrow, London Heathrow Airport, stand
76 November Charlie,
509.
clearance is to Montreal, the Umlaut 1 Golf
And we've got
departure,
runway news
squawk 7537.
Surface wind is 200 at 17 knots, so quite a decent crosswind for us to contend with during departure. Terran cumulonimbus clouds, very low air pressure of 987
76 November Charlie,
hectopascals.
correct. Swift 345 clearance, Zurich Max 81 Golf
And you join
departure,
us,
squawk
setting up,
5216.
ready for our little trip to Gibraltar.
Clear to Zurich,
Clear some of these memos. Let's pull in our latest sim brief information.
Swift 345 correct. Shuttle 8 Uniform 27 aft clear takeoff, surface wind 200 degrees 17 knots.
There we go. En route time is estimated 2 hours 32. Call sign, speedbird.
Shuttle 8 Uniform 27 aft clear takeoff, surface wind 200 degrees 17 knots.
Cruise takeoff 27 left, show 8 Uniform.
Heathrow Tower, very good afternoon. Speedbird 2773 on the LS, 27 right.
Speedbird 2773 Tower, hello, continue approach.
Continue approach, 27 right, Speedbird 273.
Speedbird 1A Charlie, was that you calling for clearance before?
Affirm.
Speedbird 1A Charlie,
Let's
thank
get
you.
information.
Your clearance is to Krakow, the death link to Golf departure, squawk 6471.
Clear Krakow,
Flaps 1. We've got a flex temp of 63 degrees Celsius today.
Speedbird 1A Charlie, correct. Speedbird 2773 27 right, clear to land, surface wind 200 degrees 17 knots.
Clear land 27 right, Speedbird 2773.
And import.
And obstructions, if anyone's still waiting for clearance, let me know.
Speedbird 8 Quebec.
Hello everybody, hello William, Pretender, member of the channel, hello, welcome. Darren, good afternoon.
Clearance Frankfurt,
Max range of the aircraft is about
squawk
6-7 hours I think, it
1164.
depends on weight as well of course. Graham, gold member, very warm welcome to you, welcome back.
Speedbird 8 Quebec,
And yeah, 3 of us making our way across today, which is quite cool.
And Speedbird 8 Quebec will be cruising today, flight level 350.
So there's a new little thing as well that's come in, apparently if I tap this it'll import the data across for me. Oh, look at that, straight in.
Sorry, two stations.
That's not allowed.
Speedbird 3027 after clear to land.
Telling us we're going to need 6.1 with a diversion, but we've got 8.1.
Split land.
That's with a -10 set on
Speedbird 12 Papa 517, push and start.
let's do 0.4.
Speedbird 12 Papa
long taxi.
517, push and start, approved face off.
Greek LOL Pro, hello, welcome. Wesley's here as well, channel member is on the left.
Swift 345, push and
So we're
start,
expecting
approved
with the
face
ATIS
off.
information a departure on runway 27 left.
Shuttle
Via
8 Golf from
Golf
November Bravo
2
to
Golf departure.
November Bravo 2 Echo, short leg Golf.
Heathrow Tower, good afternoon. Speedbird 662.
Let William know, I've always just been calculating it myself.
Type A321, requesting IFR clearance to Lanica.
Speedbird 66, sorry,
So we need to get that as well. Got a new little decal there as well, guys. Let me know what you think of it.
Shuttle 8 Uniform.
About to hand make it all day today. APU available.
Shuttle 8 Uniform,
lights
pass your
are on.
message.
George was Toretto.
Shuttle 8 Uniform, contact Lanica Charlie
Steps have
127,
gone away.
base from the 1, bye-bye.
Aviation simulation, hello.
Shuttle 8 Uniform.
So, I've done the perf page, done it init A and B. Fuel predictions ready. We'll go through the RadNav page as we get a little closer to Gibraltar, and there's a performance page with our V-speeds input. Though, yeah, good. Just recycled them in case. Couldn't remember if I'd done it before I'd imported the weights or not. Let's have a little look at our ATIS information then, guys, so you guys can read it.
Shuttle 8 Golf behind the landing company A320 line, sorry, A321
Information
line of 27
Alpha,
left
runway
behind.
use 27 left single, runway ops, transition level 80, surface wind 200 at 17 knots, visibility 10 kilometres or more, light rain broken 900
Heathrow
feet,
Tower,
overcast
Speedbird
1,300
Charlie,
feet.
stand 535, request
Temperature 10 degrees Celsius, dew point +8, QNH 987 hectopascals.
Speedbird 6 November Charlie, squawk 7537.
So let's come off plan mode.
Speedbird 2773, just vacating left here.
Speedbird 2773, thank you. Taxi second right into Bravo.
Second right onto Bravo, Speedbird 273.
Heathrow Tower, good afternoon. Speedbird 4902 at stand 509, Airbus A320 Neo with information Alpha 987 hectopascals. Request IFR clearance to Gibraltar.
Speedbird 492 Heathrow, hello, Gibraltar, the Goxie to Golf departure, squawk 5246.
Gibraltar via the Gogsy to Golf departure, squawk 5246 for Speedbird 4902. Echo,
Speedbird
hello, welcome.
492, correct.
Another member?
Speedbird 2737.
Hello, Heathrow Tower, Speedbird
Aviation simulation, it depends on the runway that we're actually going to be. Well, it depends on the weather as we get closer. 5246.
Stand by, Speedbird 2773, do you have any stand preference?
Wherever all those speedbeds are in Terminal 5, I'll slot in where a free stand is.
And we've got the Gogsy 2 Golf already put in there as well, guys. So
Roger, there's no flights from you, I'm afraid. So we can taxi stand 5, taxi Bravo, stand 532.
Bravo 2532, yeah.
I hate how that USR
all the
point is
controllers
there, 'cause
came
that shouldn't
on.
be there.
I should
Let me just
have
have a little look closer at this.
Roger, no worries.
Yeah, so after departure, it's going to merge us really between the two runways. It's one of those sim
Yankee,
bugs
stand will
that
be
the
519.
sim has.
And 519.
That's all good. Ice indicators.
And just confirm link
standby.
52 then unto Yankee to 519.
Signs are on.
APM
Emergency signs
529
are on.
Negative 519, 519, left 519, link 52, then unto Yankee.
We'll wait until we get pushback clearance.
Alpha Yankee and then onto 519 Speedbird.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We are ready for pushback
Golf
and engine
27
start.
takeoff,
Roger.
20,
Release the
0 degrees
brakes,
17
please.
Flag point, yeah, no problem at all.
27 extra light call.
And the station calling clearance to Gibraltar, pass your message.
Speedbird 101, request Alpha clearance to Gibraltar, flight level 350, information Alpha.
Speedbird 101, report aircraft type and stand number.
Aviation simulation, very true, so we don't optimise the
A320
scenery at
Neo
all.
and stand 511.
Heathrow's not too bad, in fairness.
Speedbird 101, thank you. Clearance to Gibraltar, Goxie to Golf departure, squawk 7273.
Cleared IFR to
10 boy, welcome.
Gibraltar,
Welcome to the channel, thanks for tuning in.
Goxie 2 Golf departure and squawk 7273.
As you can see, the weather is absolutely miserable
Speedbird
for us at the moment.
101.
Estimate
Speedbird
flying time,
101, correct.
2 hour 40.
Speedbird 18 Charlie, request start please, number 515.
Speedbird 818 Charlie, after the passing company 321, right to left, push and start is approved, face to the south.
After the company passes right to left, push and start through the face south, Speedbird 18 Charlie.
Speedbird 2773, can I take 18502 stands on the north part of Terminal 5?
Speedbird 2773, A-frame, that's fine.
Thank you all.
Speedbird 492, stand 509, request push start.
Speedbird 490, push and start is approved, face to the south.
Push start approved, face south, Speedbird 492.
Speedbird 101, request pushback.
Push and start with correct squawk push start.
So,
With 2 stations.
Parking
Speedbird 6
brakes
November
released.
Charlie, push and start approved, face
Beacon on.
south.
Push and start approved, face south.
It's powered to FADEX.
November Charlie.
You can hear the air conditioning come off. We're using pushback express.
Speedbird 12 Papa Taxi, Alpha, hold short link, hold short Yankee.
Alpha Short Yankee Speedbird.
To control the pushback tugs today and all the
Shuttle
ground
8 Golf,
equipment.
contact landing control 127, day, summer 1, bye bye.
2712,
Aviation simulation, technically I don't think you do. Driving licence I think suffices, but I'd imagine because there's very little between Gibraltar
Speedbird
and Spain,
158, hello,
perhaps
27
actually do
run,
need to.
surface 20, 0 degrees,
Engine 2
17.
start.
Clear to land, to the left.
It's very busy at Heathrow today, which is great to see on VATSIM.
Speedbird 101, request pushback.
Speedbird 101, hold position.
Heathrow, Skyways 1428, Boeing 737-800, stand 251 with Alpha, QNH 987, request IFR clearance to Edinburgh.
Let's start the safety demonstration thanks to the Luke Air tool, which is free to download on flight.to.
Is 1445.
Gadget, no problem at all, thanks for tuning in though.
I'm at 1 Golf departure, squawking 1445, Skyways 1428.
Skyways 148, correct.
Skyways 36345 is requesting taxi.
Swiss 145, taxi second left, taxi first left Bravo,
Stunning
hold
little
lucky.
747400 logo jet over
Taxi
there.
Bravo, hold lucky for 36345.
Pushback complete. Set parking brakes, please.
Parking brake set.
Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear. We will see you on arrival with the vehicle.
Thanks, and you can disconnect and go to hands.
Hello, clearance
Thanks. Have a good flight.
Brooklyn
See you later.
17 Golf departure, squawk 7307.
Clear to land, clear via Brickman's Park 7 Golf departure, squawk 7307.
Pushback Express, watch the tug leave.
662, correct.
When he's back in the apron area, the parking stand area, he's clear. Ordinarily it'd stop and give us a little wave as well.
Sorry, yeah, 720 Papa, hold November, taxi Alpha, hold November 4 whiskey.
Alpha Hold November 4 whiskey, Speedbird 12 Papa.
Show you guys our route around the airport as well shortly, but I'd imagine it's going to be Alpha all the way down to November 3.
148, request start up and pushback.
Skyways 148, push and start approved, face south.
Start up and pushback approved, station south, Skyways 148.
Speedbird 101, are we clear?
And nose to taxi, wing on.
Speedbird 101, negative hold position, I cut it back.
Speedbird 4902, request taxi.
Speedbird 492, taxi Alpha, hold at Lomond.
Taxi Alpha, hold Lomond, Speedbird 4902.
Speedbird 101, after the passing company, 320
So
from
Lomond
from right to
is
left, push and start is approved, face
not
to
on
the
this
south.
chart, it's kind of around here,
Cruise
where it's
start
between
approved,
K and
facing south,
L.
Speedbird 101.
I just confirm after the passing company, 320.
After the passing
There's
320, Speedbird 101.
Speedbird 8 Quebec Sound 602, request push and start.
Speedbird 8, Quebec, push and start approved, face east.
Push and start approved, face east.
It's anything with AI models, they are exceptionally low resolution, so when you get close, it's a little rubbish.
Speedbird 18, Charlie, Roger, taxi Alpha, hold November 4 whiskey.
Alpha, hold November 4 whiskey, Speedbird, right.
Max, it did indeed, yeah. I know there's another one coming soon as well. Got some custom views as well for you guys. That's the only thing, like, very low res when you actually look at it in detail, which is a little bit of a shame. But from a distance, it's real nice to be able to see those aircraft. We're stuck behind him.
Heathrow Tower, good. Heathrow Tower, good afternoon. This is Southern Air 261 Heavy. It's type 1777 information Alpha. Request the ATC clearance to Frankfurt.
Southern Air 261 Tower, hello, stand by, cut it back. Speedbird 1 highway, taxi second left onto Bravo.
Roger, second left onto Bravo.
Speedbird 1 highway, actually make a second right onto Bravo, then will be stand 303.
Roger, perfect. Right on Bravo and then stand 303. Possible to get the 305?
A from stand 305.
Perfect, thank you.
Swiss 145, taxi link to 8, hold November Bravo 1.
Max, I have indeed. Well, I've actually shown how to edit the VMR files on the weekend coming. I think.
Hold at Lima 1.
Got another video coming up. And I'm actually going to be redoing my taxiway tutorials because I didn't record them particularly well back in the day, but also there's a lot more that I actually want to cover and add in, because when it's bad weather like this...
South 261, clearance Frankfurt, that links to your Gulf departure, squawk 7653.
If it goes into particularly low vis, then there are certain procedures that we need to bear in mind on the airfield itself.
South 261, correct.
Speedbird 6 November Charlie, ready for taxi.
Speedbird 6 November Charlie, taxi Bravo, hold at Lockheed.
Bravo, short at Lockheed, Speedbird 6 November Charlie.
Taking off with flaps 1
Speedbird
plus F.
101, request taxi.
Speedbird 101, taxi Alpha, hold short Echo.
Use my hotkey to arm the spoilers, and now the flaps have actually stopped moving, we should press takeoff config as well.
Skyway 148, taxi, hold November Bravo.
Yankee, and look at that Bravo. Neil, hello, welcome. Gadget, yeah, sounds like you've got a bit of a busy day ahead then. In the distance down there, of course, we've got the BA's
662 from stand 512
World
ready
Cargo Centre. It's called Ascentis. I think it's still the world's largest fully automated cargo distribution centre in the world. Gadget, thank you. Well noticed. I was trying to get it all sorted today actually to see if I could get it working. It took a little while, but
Speedbird 662, are you able to push before link 55, please?
It worked quite nicely actually. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. There's the Queen of the Skies down there. Oh, and a rainbow.
Speedbird 662, are you able to push before link 55?
A-firm, we can push before then, 662.
And let's get our cabin secure from the crew.
So 345 line up runway 27 left, caution on B1 intersection, departure ahead of you.
Up and wait on the 437.
So people that do that on VATSIM inevitably get banned.
On the runway.
Speedbird 8 Quebec, request taxi. Heathrow Tower, is that Ryanair 225 meant to be doing this?
I was just thinking the same.
Our station standby.
Oh my god.
Satrick, hello, welcome.
Okay guys, just ignore that. Swiss 345 line up runway 27 left.
So,
Swiss 345 is lining up 27 left.
Zachariah, nice. Hello, Zachariah.
Skyway 148 from November Bravo 3, clear takeoff 27 left, surface wind 20
what's our aircraft reg today? You know it's going to be just a dash.
Takeoff, Skyway 148.
Golf Tango Tango November Hotel in this one. I think it's already actually put into the...
Tower, good evening. Good afternoon, this Tango Sierra 10 Kilo and 565, wing 737, requesting IR for clearance to Charles de Gaulle.
Tango Sierra 10 Kilo, hello, I just confirm your file.
Hello Pro, yep, we're using Unreal Weather today. I'm tempted to put it onto the Microsoft Flight Simulator weather and see what it does.
Tango Sierra 10 Kilo, just stand by.
Roger.
Passing Terminal 3, of course.
Speedbird 8 Quebec, request taxi.
Satrick, somebody mucking about, but no doubt has probably just been kicked off the network.
Speedbird 8 Quebec.
I'd like to think. I think you can get away with that sort of stuff on IVAO a little bit more, but on VATSIM, primarily people want to do stuff properly.
So the 261 push and start approved 5 to the east.
So Lowman is in line with Terminal 2B for a reference point, which is kind of where the service is here. We're down there actually. So where
face east, start to now 261.
He's having an intersection departure as well actually. There's an EasyJet.
Tower, are you seeing this Ryanair that's coming back?
I've just rattled him, stand by.
So basically, there's somebody absolutely going mad on VATSIM. Thing is, we don't want people like that. There's a busy Heathrow Airport, guys.
I've never seen this in my VATSIM life.
And we're number 3 in sequence.
He
said he was coming back, but I can't see him. Thankfully, I can't see him. Indeed, Callum, it is, yeah. I think he has been dot-bollocked. Single runway operations, so we've got to bear in mind arriving traffic is also going to be landing on 27 left.
Line up runway 27 behind the departing, behind the departing Swiss, A321, line up runway 27 left behind.
Behind the departing Swiss A321, November 4 Whiskey 9 up 27 left behind, Speedbird 12 Papa.
So something to bear in mind, when there's low vis procedures in place, there are category 2 and 3 hold points, and also category 3 hold points.
Speedbird 662 requesting taxi.
And it's quite important that we
Speedbird
sort of know the
662
difference.
taxi link 53 Bravo, hold Lucky.
That we might be able to see.
Taxi link 53 Bravo, hold
So there we go, there's a prime example, although it is blurry from a distance. Where the red line is, that will be a category 1 or 2 hold point. On low vis procedures, however, to protect the ILS, we hold at the ladder.
171, Skyridge 1428, thanks.
So it's a little fun fact for you guys.
Speedbird 18 Charlie, line up runway 27 after line, November 4 Whiskey.
Wants to get sidetracked.
All stations, Heathrow broadcast, New Connect is 986 Heathrow out.
Update that.
Speedbird 6 November Charlie, taxi link to 8, hold at November Bravo 1.
Link to 8, hold November Bravo 1, Speedbird 6 November Charlie.
Tower 36345 is for flight level 2500.
So Lockheed is where he's holding. Lowman is pretty much parallel, but on Alpha. So we've been tasked to hold at Lowman. We know from the charts that is in line with Terminal 2B, which is over there. So pretty much in line with the 747, where he was anyway. He's been given a continuation of taxi, so.
Speedbird 18 Charlie, 7 after takeoff, the surface wind 200 degrees 16
knots. There's one on approach, just where the cursor is. Flapper boy, no problem at all. Graham, yeah, he should, I'd imagine he will be banned now, permanently.
Swiss 1, sorry, 345, contact Heathrow, director 119 at 81725, bye-bye.
Director 119725 for 36345, consent.
Speedbird 490, taxi to hold November Bravo 2 Echo.
Taxi and hold November Bravo 2 Echo, Speedbird 4902.
Speedbird 101, hold November Bravo 2 Echo.
Speedbird 101, hold short, November Bravo 2 Echo.
So that's a category 1 hold point, and that's
Tango Sierra 10 Kilo
where the 747 is.
Speedbird 493, infant, pass your message.
Gadget, do you mean the wigwags, or whatever they're called? I'll actually be able to show you guys the category 3 November Bravo 2 Echo.
Tower, hello, this is Tango Sierra. Tower, hello, this is Tango Sierra 10 Kilo. I didn't receive my departure clearance.
Yeah, I called you just 3 minutes ago, so just stand by.
If
Speedbird 493, unit 27 after land, surface wind 200 degrees 16 knots.
We're in low vis procedures, we'd be told to hold at this one here.
Speedbird 12 Papa, contact Nana Controller 127,
which is November 2 Whiskey.
London 1271, Speedbird 12 Papa.
November 2 Echo.
Show tower starting at 261.
Which is the one where the lines are, and the red lines that say 27 left. If we were in low vis procedure, however, we would be using November 2 Echo, which is the large ladders, and that's to protect the integrity of the ILS.
Tango Sierra 10 Kilo, are you able to accept the Mach 8 departure?
But we're not in low vis.
Tango Sierra 0 Kilo, negative, I can't.
So he's told us to hold at November Bravo 2 Echo.
Sorry, Tango Sierra 10 Kilo, Roger. Your clearance is to Charles de Gaulle, mid-East 3 Golf departure, squawk 5471. You'll be cruising today, flight level 230.
Stick part brake on.
Cleared IFR departure to Charles de Gaulle via mid-3 Golf departure, squawking 5471.
Good question, I'll put it in the live chat.
Tango Sierra 10 Kilo, correct. Spirit 8, Quebec, sorry, line up runway 27 left.
Bottom runway 27 left, speedbird 8 Quebec.
Spirit 1 Charlie, contact you for director 119 at 84725, bye-bye.
Max, no, there won't be a return leg, I'm afraid. And now we just wait for our departure.
Spirit 493, uniform vacated right, left and to Alpha.
There goes the VA World Cargo flight. I figured whenever it's busy, always add so like 0.4, 0.5 onto your taxi, so it works out in kilograms basically. This is like Heathrow on a normal day, almost. Loads of aircraft coming down Bravo as well, we can see.
Spirit 6 November Charlie behind the departing company 748, line up 27 left behind.
Behind departing 747, line up one way behind, speedbird 6 November Charlie.
Spirit 8 Quebec 27 after clear takeoff, surface wind 200 degrees 16 knots.
8 Quebec clear for takeoff 27 left.
Spirit 490, hold November Bravo 2 Whiskey. Spirit 660, hold November Bravo 2 Whiskey. Spirit 660, hold November Bravo 2 Whiskey.
Hold November Bravo 2 Whiskey.
So we get a what's called a calculated takeoff time. So when we file our route on VATSIM and we put in our departure time, normally that's where we'll try and get a slot allocated effectively, and we want to depart 5 minutes before, no earlier than 5 minutes before, no later than 10 minutes after. And that is what our slot is.
Tango Sierra 10 Kilo, push and start approved flight.
And it'll be about 2 minutes wait after that 747 departs because of weight turbulence.
Spirit 492 behind the departing company 744 via line up runway 27 left behind.
After the departing company 747, line up and wait behind, speedbird 492.
Spirit 6 November Charlie 27 after clear takeoff, surface wind 200 degrees 16 knots.
So,
takeoff 27 left.
Takeoff memos, no blue, auto brakes max, speed brakes armed. That's all set up. Our V speeds at V1 132 knots, V rotate.
Good afternoon, speedbird 440, stand 505, A319 ready for push.
Spirit 440, hello, push and start approved face east.
Push and start approved facing east, speedbird 440.
Max, yeah, get the small aircraft ahead of, out ahead of the 2 jumbos. Off he goes. Not in a particular rush to line up because
Spirit 493 uniform taxi Bravo and then link 5 off and 5
Neil, good point. Could do the chrono for a 2-minute gap. Let's start it.
Spirit 8, could I contact you for director 119 at 81725, bye-bye.
Oh, they're online.
119 275, speedbird 8 Quebec.
Speedbird Quebec, just confirm 119 at 81725.
119 or decimal 725, Speedbird Quebec.
So we are ready. Martin, we're taking flight level 350 today. How much have we burnt so far?
6 November Charlie London 127 days from the 1, bye-bye.
London 127 decimal 1,
wow.
6 November Charlie.
I thought it'd be about 400. I estimated a 400 kilogram fuel burn for this.
Speedbird 101 behind the departing company, 320 line up 27 left behind.
Line up runway 27 left behind aircraft, Speedbird 101.
Speedbird 49227 left, clear takeoff, surface wind 200 degrees 16 knots.
Clear takeoff 27 left, Speedbird 492. No, good afternoon. Commentator, good afternoon. Flex. Thrust set. I'm already having to factor in wind here.
Speedbird 6 Whiskey Oscar, radio check.
80 knots.
Speedbird 6 Whiskey Oscar, hello, visibility 5.
Visibility 5, Speedbird 6 Whiskey Oscar requests IFR clearance to
rotate.
Paris Charles de Gaulle and an A320 at stand 506.
Windy. Positive rate.
Speedbird 6 Whiskey Oscar, are you able to accept the Maxi departure?
Just going to put that on heading select because I want to fly straight out and not do what the sim wants to do.
I'm sorry, I had my volume down there. Can you please say again for Speedbird 6 Whiskey Oscar?
Speedbird 6 Whiskey Oscar, are we able to accept the Maxi departure?
And up we go.
No problem.
Up towards Windsor Castle, which is over straight ahead basically somewhere. Just leave a climb.
Speedbird 6 Whiskey Alpha cleared, Charles de Gaulle, Maxi to 1 Golf departure, after Maxi to join Yankee 803, meters to domicile, squawk 1474.
And who else have we got online? London Centre. Who are we speaking to? Noga, hopefully.
Speedbird 6 Whiskey Oscar, clear to Charles de Gaulle via the Maxit 1 Golf departure, squawk 1474 QNH 1098 for Speedbird 6 Whiskey Oscar.
Speedbird 6 Whiskey Oscar, correct. Speedbird 490, contact Director 119 at 84725, bye-bye.
Director 119 at decimal 725, thank you for your services, Speedbird 492, bye.
Bye.
Heathrow Director, good afternoon, Speedbird 492, airborne Gogsy 2 Golf, 4,500 feet.
Speedbird 492 Heathrow, hello, climb now, flight level 150.
Climb now, flight level 150, Speedbird 492. Up we go. We've punched through that overcast cloud layer, so that's going to be good. I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like at Gibraltar actually. Let's have a little look at the METAR. Oh, good grief, yes. Winds 220 degrees and 15 knots, gusting 28 knots. So we've got almost 30 knot gusts there. And off the top of my head, I think that's a 40 odd degree crosswind component as well. So that is going to be hideous for us, but that's going to be really good. Scattered cloud at 1,400 feet as well. Light rain. Temporarily 4 kilometers visibility. Wow. Yeah, so it's going to be challenging. It's going to be good. Exile, so you'd leave it in manage mode. Leave it in the climb gate for your descent. but it will manage the speed. But what you need to do is make sure that you're managing the vertical speed correctly as well, because we don't have a fully working VNAV just yet. Here we go, making that turn towards Gogsey, which is a 6,000 foot constraint or altitude clearance limit. However, we've been cleared to climb to flight level 150. If you guys want the Metaf LXGB, I've got it here. I'll just stick it in the live chat. Let the nippers out the seats. And accelerating now to our climb speed, 290 knots.
Hello, Speedbird 101, climbing flight level
Excel, no problem at all.
0.
Aviation simulation, only in America.
So hello, climb now, flight level 110.
In the US, transition altitude for descent is 18,000 feet. For us, it's 10,000. And aviation simulation, yeah, we can always just go around. We'll go through all of that as we get a bit closer as well. We'll plan for it all. What I tend to do as well...
Continue with Unicom 122.18, bye-bye.
Continue Unicom 122.8, thank you for your services. See you soon, Speedbird 492. And we'll continue our climb up. We'll smooth out the climb a little bit as well. What I like to do as well, once we get a bit higher, what I tend to do lately is move to MSFS live weather. Gives it a minute or so and then it will refresh and build it back in again, because it tends to work very well at higher altitudes now. So we'll give it a moment and it will build in the new weather. He says. Come on, Asobo. I mean, it is definitely not clear skies. Maybe it just needs a little while. There we go, seems to be building it in. Oh, there we go. Wow. That's even better. Okay, that is a cool view. Look at that. In the eye of the storm. I think I'm starting to prefer live weather on the sim. 18,000 foot, we've got that cloud ceiling. Look at that. Absolutely incredible. And of course, if we put the weather radar on, it doesn't work properly because it actually just reads cloud, but it's all bad basically. I mean, it's not too bad aviation simulation. It's not amazing, but it's certainly better than the default would be. Look at the clouds. There are elements to the simulator that never ever get boring. and weather is one of them, as well as graphics. That is absolutely incredible. I might put the seatbelt signs back on. Or I could increase the rate of climb. At the moment I'm just thankful that we haven't got any ice. It's one of those really annoying things that the sim does. That's no problem at all. Exile, yes. You know what? It might be. Is it in 2 days? I think the update. Can't think off the top of my head now. 28th. Oh, there we go. Thank you. So, yep, not long at all until the sim is broken again for about a week. Commentator, thank you very much. I was actually gonna stick the logo up here somewhere. I saw where 320 Sim Pilot's done it up here, which looks quite good. But then I thought, you know what? I kind of want it right there because the default one that was already in was German reg plate and cell cow. So I went ahead and just stuck it all on here instead. I've got very high resolution SVR logo file, so I was able to convert that so it actually kept the resolution really crisp. So it's basically 8K downscaled to 4K to match the cockpit, which is quite nice. I like it. I keep looking at it, but it took me about an hour and a half to get right today. A little bit fiddly it was. Let's start to bring our rate of climb down a little bit. We can see our top of climb marker there, guys. And every time I move the vertical speed, that pushes further out. Let's have a little look on V-Pilot very quickly. We've got Langen radar and London Centre, so none for us for the remainder, unless Brest Centre come online. That's who we're flying via. Love the weather. It never gets boring in the sim. It always looks different every time you fly. Callum, so the A32NX folders, they actually come with a customized folder, and you can go in and just amend that in. I used GIMP because it's obviously a free version of Photoshop, just as good. So I used GIMP, converted it, made so pushed all my logo and everything into the relevant area. You have to tilt it all slightly because you have to change the 3D perspective of it so it lines up nice with the actual plaque. It took me about an hour. I realised what I was doing at one point was a little bit wrong. I forgot to merge the layers and things, so I spawned about 4 times wondering why it was blank. Wesley, a channel member, hence the cool badge and the standout colours. He's flying behind us, Speedbird 401 I think it is, or Speedbird 101 maybe, I think, short memory. So he's joining us to Gibraltar. I'm not sure if anyone else was joining us as well actually. But we are in for a treat with the strong winds, almost a 30 knot crosswind to contend with on approach. Callum, that does sound like a good idea actually. Yeah, I could work on that. It'd be a short one. Let's just fiddle with my charts a little bit. I can show you guys the route on Navigraph today. It'll take us down to the bottom of the Iberian Peninsula. Echo, yep, oh that's it, you're joining us as well. You just got off the ground, BA490, wow. To be fair, there's only about 10-minute delay behind us, so it was very busy at Heathrow as well. There's Navigraph for you guys, so you can see there, ignore that. We've departed Heathrow on that Gogsy 2 Golf departure. We're just over the Isle of Wight at the moment, not that we can see it, and heading over the English Channel to Brest Centre, which is this section here of French radar control. Heading down to the Madrid radar area. Pretty much flying in over Bilbao, which I think is there. Yep, there we go. So just to the west of Bilbao by a couple of 100 miles, straight down the centre of Madrid, from the centre of Spain. And then at some point down here we're going to obviously be starting our descent within this Uniform November 864 airway. And down we go to Pimos, where we start our arrival procedure into Gibraltar. And let's look at the charts for this. So the overview for the arrivals. There's Pimos, and it looks like we're going to be flying in using the Malaga VOR initially, into Pimos, and then up is next, and probably then Unbut to then fly in to this bay. Arrivals for civil aircraft. Yeah, there we go. So tracking the Gibraltar VOR and the Malaga VOR as well will come in handy. That's our diversion airport as well today, if it goes horribly wrong. .340 knots. How are you doing 340 knots? Wow. Mark, no problem at all. Thank you very much. That sounds important. Let me know how it goes. Where was I? There's a hold it up map above 3,000 foot, as we can see. And when we get to Unbut, 8.5 miles from the DME, we'll be then turning into the bay for our approach. So if we go onto the approach, we've got runway 27 or 09. So it's actually 70 degrees crosswind. But we're going to be flying in this RNAV approach. There's a visual as well. We could do a visual. That's going to be hard. Let's have a little read of this. Turbulence, wind shear, bird strike hazards, yeah. Missed approach. Visual approach. I'm not sure if that's going to be too much of a challenge, knowing that there's a significantly strong crosswind for us. Visual decision point at 3 nautical miles at the radar, fixed from jib. Wow, that could be an interesting challenge for us. So let me know what you guys would all prefer. We could either do this RNAV approach, which in fairness will become a visual approach anyway. Umber, Golf Bravo Mike 06, and then round through the bay. To be fair, that most of that base procedure there and the finals, short finals, will all be manually flown, I think, anyway. We'll go through all of this as we get a little closer, and we'll of course get the very latest updates on the METARs and things as well. David, I think we'll go RNAV with the weather we've got today. Echo, yeah, it's quite strong, isn't it? The wind. It's going to be horrendous when we get to Gibraltar. That's for sure. It's going to be really good. How'd you get that VATSIM flight tracker? Graham's asking. Is that the one on the overlay at the very top? Oh, that's it. Okay, so you're thinking about Navigraph. So Navigraph, you can click a button and it enables moving maps, and you get the little pinpoint of where you are in relation to the map if it works with moving maps. So that's what we've just been looking at. If that's what you mean. Wesley, I haven't yet worked out top of descent. We'll work that out a little later. We've got a couple of hours yet before we need to worry about that. SRA runway 27. Visual approach. Yeah, I keep thinking we're going to be landing on on 09, but we're not, are we? We're coming in on 27, which is actually just effectively a bit of a straight-in approach, so that's not going to be too much of a problem at all. SRA, visual approach following radar. Yeah, so in via PMOS and then arcing round to Cooksox, initial fix, and then a straight-in approach to runway 27 is what we're going to be using. And decision height of 1194 foot for RNAV at 0.3 accuracy. I don't use Project Fly, no, interestingly enough. Never heard of it. Actually, I have heard of it, but I've not really looked into it that much. Is that similar to sort of like VATSIM and things, where you get the ability to change to sort of like manage the cabin and things like that? Am I thinking along the right lines with that? Apparently, Wesley's alongside us somewhere to our left. Can't see him though. Commentator site, Sim Toolkit Pro or Volanta. Volanta's meant to be very good, although I've not had the opportunity to be a beta tester for that. I'm trying to think where he is. If he's maybe he's through the cloud and we can't see him. But Wesley's here, overtaken me somehow. He must be flying really low. Oh, there's Wesley. Oh, let's get a screenshot of that, shall we? You must be overspeeding the hell out of that. Security problems with Project Fly? Well, no thank you then. I will be keeping away from that. Whenever I'm using flight trackers and things, what I tend to do is just go on to simaware.ca, and that will pretty much give us all the information I need, with a 2-minute delay or so. Yeah, Wesley is absolutely gunning it. No pressure though, Wesley. If you arrive first, you land first. Such a high level cloud. I mean, we're at what, flight level 350. There's Wesley up there. At flight level 370, I think. And we're at our cruise now of 268, or Mach decimal 78. Volanta is meant to be quite good. I'd quite like to have a little look at that, to be fair. I used to use Sim Toolkit Pro, but then I went through a phase where I just had nothing but issues with either chart Fox not connecting properly. I noticed as well we had some significant problems with the landing rate as well, and I think that's more of an asobo issue, where you just get random foot per minute readouts. But I just found them very inaccurate. Sergey, hello, welcome. You should have an ETA at the top of your screen that will tell you in UK time when we'll be landing, but it's about 2.5 hours flight time, 3 hours-ish block. But we're pretty much over French airspace already. Wesley is absolutely shooting ahead like a fighter jet. you can see our route here actually, so Basic, Badur, etc. all in French airspace. Neil, I'm not sure. I do think the landing rates are very inaccurate. The overlay tool that I'm using, FlyLive, I actually had a little foot per minute rate on there as well. So every time I landed, it gave you guys the readouts for my landing rate. But then I used it the one time, and it popped up on everybody's screens during the stream that my landing rate was 0 foot per minute, which is impossible. So that definitely doesn't work either. So I got rid of that too. I think it's maybe a wider issue with SimConnect and how it communicates. I've also figured out why Wesley is steaming ahead, because we're at max 7.8, but I think maybe he's using a different weather engine. We've got a 70 knot headwind that we're contending with, which is going to slow us down quite considerably. It's probably going to add about 10-15 minutes to the flight.
1874 till current indicator FB.
Satrick, how is Sim Toolkit Pro working these days?
I'm not sure if I might go for another one and hold, or I might just go for it now and hold and wait here.
And the light version in settings.
Nah, I'll go for another one.
I haven't used Sim Toolkit Pro since about middle of September, if I'm honest. It got to the point where it became quite jittery, and I was having more problems than I wanted, so I decided to stop using it. Echo landed, got a plus 26 foot per minute. Wow, that's impressive. Daily Dose, hello, welcome to the channel, welcome aboard. How does a plus 26 foot per minute landing work then? That's impressive.
And Golf 21 turn around.
It must be Echo. It must be a wider problem than with asobo. Most of the times, everybody in the sim community seems obsessed with butter landings and how close to 0 you can get your foot per minute landing rates. But I do think it is very unreliable at the moment.
Golf, Charlie,
I mean, I've absolutely slammed it down once in very bad weather, and I found that I got a, what did I get? It was like a landing rate of like minus 150 foot per minute, and I thought there's absolutely no way, because I properly Ryanaired it onto the ground to the point where actually it'd probably been, if it was a real aircraft, it'd been tech and checked in maintenance for the heavy landing. So that's when I knew it was incorrect and not particularly accurate.
I think it was more like minus 600. Delta Whiskey will hold short of runway 26 and wait for the landing track.
Nice to hear people using voice on Unicom, doing position reports and things. That's always good.
Fine.
And Skywest 115, how was that take off?
Yeah, definitely left wing down and lots of right foot on that one.
Yeah, that dash is quite sensitive aircraft.
Yeah, it really doesn't like crosswinds.
Yeah, well, it truly doesn't.
Yeah, FM1, hello, welcome.
Yeah, I'm in a sense.
No problem, Alicia here, very welcome. Well, a very warm welcome to you. Hope you're well.
I think they're just a tad bit sensitive there as well.
Yeah, Echo, if your landing rate is around minus 200 foot per minute to about minus 400 foot per minute, then it's a pretty good landing. Anything less or more is not great.
And easy 1874, we have visual on you. Just,
the biggest thing that real airline pilots that I've spoken to, they will all tell you that you're landing a jet. If it was a light aircraft, a little Cessna, you want it to be butter. You want to kiss the ground.
Oh, me shoes!
But in the jet, you want to land it. You want to get it down on the ground. Get them wheels planted on the runway.
Are you climbing now, or are you just going to keep?
So 200 to 400 foot is pretty good as a rough sort of guide. If you get it in that range, then that is a really good landing.
I'll expedite a descent and first once you go before I change traffic.
On Saturday, we're heading to Miami again, popping back over to the States, and we're going to be doing the flight from Miami to Toncontin, a real-world American Airlines route, and we're going to be doing that challenging approach. We're going to leave it on live weather as well, and on Sunday, content-wise, we're going to be flying from Bogota in Colombia to Quito in Ecuador for that notorious airport approach and landing, really high altitude. So be sure to join us for those. Ian, who's a silver frequent flyer member of the channel, supporter of the channel, requested Bogota to Quito, so we're going to do that. It's going to be quite nice. Very scenic part of the world, that's for sure. So nice. Providing, of course, the update hasn't come by then and breaks everything. Martin, nice. Whereabouts are you flying? Are you flying to Gibraltar too, or elsewhere? Wesley, probably the RNAV approach, especially with that 30 knot crosswind gusting. So probably do the RNAV approach, but then with a manual landing, of course. PMOS onto that RNAV. Echo, yeah. To be honest, I probably going to seriously plan for a go around into Gibraltar. I think. I'll have to fly around the rock and back in for a second attempt, perhaps. It's going to be. In fact, there's a landing challenge, isn't there? Off the top of my head, one of the asobo landing challenges into Gibraltar is one of the crosswind, strong winds challenges. And I've given that a go, and that's landing on runway 09. So it's going to be very similar to that one. But that's what we love. I like a challenge. Martin, yeah. Fly flight level 310, and you should be able to buzz along at about 290, 300 knots.
Roger.
Martin, my call sign is Speedbird 492. BAW 492. David, good question. I think maybe 3 of us, so not too many today. But yeah, any more than that we will struggle to get tarmac, I think. That's not accounting for anybody that is also outside of the stream flying to Gibraltar too. So I'm not sure if what the arrivals picture is actually going to look like for us.
And Gotcha, Mike's just going to try and land on the taxi. You've got an issue. Gotcha, Mike's just landed into our parking space. What a lovely landing. And I'll see you soon, ET57 Southwest, rotate.
David, nice, that's good. Not quite sure what they're going to look like. I'm just looking at this cloud, thinking that we're going to be in it soon if this keeps coming up towards us. 6 departures for Gibraltar. Nice. How many arrivals? Also, how do you find out the arrivals list? Ordinarily, I could tune into my observer stuff on Euroscope for my controller training, and that would give me an arrivals list. But beyond that, I'm not even sure if that counts. I don't even know if Gibraltar's included in that. If some of you guys are tuning in for the very first time, then do click that subscribe button down below, and if you want to support the stream in any way, then you can join us as a member, like Echo, Wesley, John, Ian, etc. Graham, and a couple of others. And you get the badges and the cool standout colours, etc. But also you can use Super Chat and get some cool unique badges and stickers to stick all over the live chat today. Lots of ways to support the stream if you wish to. Oh, 6 arrivals for departures, Echo, nice. I'm also, for you guys that aren't aware, we're actually part of, still in London Centre, assigned flight level 350. Oh dear. To be fair, I mean, what might end up going around, to be fair. So, hopefully over French and Spanish airspace, you might be able to catch us up. Still got that 67 knot headwind. So you guys are using VATSIM. I don't think I've ever used that actually. Is VATSIM a program that you have to download? I think it is, isn't it? Martin, of course I can. Good question. So, I guess this is helpful to all of you guys as well. If you want to send a message to other aircraft, then it pops up on the eCam there. If you've never done it before, you need to go to MCDU menu, options, AOC, and you want to, this will say free text enable, you want to click that button there and it will change to disable, as you can see there. So if it says, if it shows as that, then that's a good thing for us. If you want to get VATSIM sources and things for ATIS and METARs, then change that to VATSIM, and METAR and TAF to VATSIM as well. And that SimBrief option there is where you put your SimBrief pilot ID. But once that free text thing is enabled, you click MCDU menu again, ATSU, Wesley RNAV 27 is going to be the one in use. Matthew, hello, welcome back. Thanks for tuning back in again. AOC menu, and then you go to free text. So you need somebody's actual call sign. So, Martin, did you put your call sign in the chat? Echo did, BA490. So, I could type in BAW 490 for the Speedbird 490 and type in a little message. There we go, and we hit send. Oh, and Echo's not enabled it, unfortunately, so we can't send him a message. Okay, so DLH 125 Romeo. So we can send it to. Okay, so Martin, you need to change telex as well. Or do I need to change telex? Has it disabled itself? Perhaps it's disabled itself, and I've not realised. I'm testing some QR stuff today, so it may well be that I've not noticed it. Yeah, my bad. Oh, confirm disable. Confirm enable. So it was on. So Martin, make sure you've turned it on in options. Matthew, nice. ATSU. Echoes, it is on, so BAW 490. Is the call sign actually written like that inside your MCDU? Or is it something else? Oh, that one's sent, bizarrely. Maybe I just needed to refresh it. DLH 125 Romeo. Click send. Ah, recipient not found. Martin, have a little look at your init page, init A, and just let me know what your actual call sign is on there, because that's the one that it links to. Yeah, recipient not found. So yeah, so Martin, just have a little look on init A, and make sure your flight number there ties up with your flight number that I'm trying to message. I've got a company message, it's popped up on the eCam there, so somebody has messaged me. So MCDU menu, ATSU, AOC receive messages, and it's from Echo. Test. They will be, might even be in now actually. Let's hit print. So the fly-by-wire project, I've actually modelled in this printer, and soon, if all goes well, we'll be able to hit print out the weather data, and stick it somewhere on the aircraft, which is quite a cool little addition. Oh, we've got a new message from Echo again. Hello. So you have to make sure that flight number there is correct. DLH 152R. There we go. Martin, you should have a little message. As we get a bit closer as well, we can look at building in from PMOS the RNAV arrival. We can put it in now, to be fair, if we wanted to. So we hit arrival, RNAV 27, and via PMOS. Insert. And we can have a little look to see what that looks like as well, to make sure it's not mucked up too much for us. PMOS, and that looks pretty much exactly how the charts look. So you sweep round and then in for that straight and final approach. Thanks to politics in the region with Gibraltar. Interestingly, we are 2.5 miles adrift. So I'm going to monitor that. Matthew, yeah, we will be actually. Echo, it does sometimes. That's a good question. It depends on the airport. Overall, I think RNAV is very buggy in the sim currently, but it works okay. The great thing now, though, is we can use flight path angle and track FPA, and use the bird for our arrival, which is what I'm going to be doing on the way in. Especially with a crosswind, it will come in very handy, so I'll show you guys exactly how to use that on the way through. And keep an eye out for the channel, because I will be doing a full tutorial of it at some point, but I'm also dealing with a lot of tutorials for the Fly UK virtual airlines. We are drifting somewhat, so let's just see if I can refresh. See what happens if I do that. Yeah, Matthew, I will be doing a flight on Sunday. Have a little look on the channel's splash page. I think we're doing Bogota to Quito on Sunday, live, around about the same time, about 1 PM UK time, which I think is 8 PM Eastern for you. Echo, no there isn't, but what we will need to do is track the VORs, because that's going to help us. So in the RadNav page, I can show you guys now. Let's get Navigraph up, and I'll just move across so you guys can see both. So we got that Gibraltar VOR of 113.6. We want to put that in. It's an offset VOR, so the course is actually not going to be accurate, because you can see there it's actually based pretty much on the hill, not on the airport itself. What was the other one? There was a Malaga VOR as well, which we can use. .0. And that could be our little backup that we might need to use. There's Veher there of 117.8, Tanger. So it all depends as well on our actual go-around information. That just feeds us back to the holder UPMUP. So we only really need that VOR1 as Gibraltar 113.6. The bird will come in handy there because we can actually target that 3-degree glide slope, and that's going to be really handy for us. And we'll go through that as and when it's actually happening, so that you guys can actually see what's going on. It makes more sense if you see it. Aviation simulation? I won't be. I won't be crashing into Toncontin. Matthew T, could do Owen Roberts International to MCO, or all the way up to KJFK. What are the flight times for those, out of interest? Graham, our gold member, just joined UK VA. Is it worth joining? Yeah, I quite like it. So the first 10 hours you have to do in the Cessna Grand Caravan, and that gets you out of Class E, I think it is. But it's actually quite nice. They've got some really nice flights around New Zealand and things like that in the Cessna Caravan, which in Microsoft Flight Simulator is really nice, especially the routes in and out of Queenstown. It's a handmade asobo aircraft airport, which is really nice. And then after that 10 hours, you can jump straight back into the A320. And there's routes across Australia, New Zealand, and for Topa Sky, and also all over the UK. So keep an eye out for that. In addition to that though as well, the CRJ will be coming from Aerosoft, and they've got a whole ton of routes from places like Birmingham, which will be perfect with that Mako Simulations Birmingham Airport scenery that was released last week. I've got a message. Received messages from Martin. Hi there, what up? What waypoint and flight level am I at? So the next waypoint is Novan in 60 miles, and I'm at flight level 350. I can actually reply to him, so DLH 152R. Flight level 350 and Novan in 60. Sent. So that's me replying to Martin, aircraft to aircraft, which is quite cool. Stevens, +1 for UKV as well. Love good Skyways flights. I've actually started helping create a load of tutorials for them. So yesterday I spent all day creating 2 tutorials on behalf of the Fly UK training team, and basically covering really difficult approaches into Ajaccio on the island of Corsica. So we did the VPTA, Circle to Land procedure, and then we did the Par Le Col, which is translated as by the collar approach to the RNAV runway, I think 20, I think it was. Both really tricky landings. In a piece, hello, welcome. Echo, that's 30 miles. That's actually quite a good little journey then. Quite a good distance for us. Yeah, keep an eye out on the channel for those Ajaccio tutorials. I'll probably end up doing a live stream to there as well at some point in February. I know Aviation Simulation requested us to do Paris-Orly to Ajaccio, but I might do Gatwick to Ajaccio or Birmingham to Ajaccio or something like that. And we could then give either the Par-les-Cols arrival or the visual circle to land VPTA arrival in, if the wind's good. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. If you guys would like to see that, let me know in the live chat, in the comments. Of course, the channel members get priority as well, so you guys who sponsor the channel every month, thank you for doing that. You guys get the ability to actually try and dictate where I go, especially Graham, Gold frequent flyer. Oh, good timing for the bot there as well. Aviation Simulation, I could do Stansted, the world's largest waiting room, I think it's been known as, but yeah, I could do Air Corsica, Stansted to Ajaccio. I'd like to use Birmingham Airport a bit more though, I do like the scenery for that. Wesley would like to see Copenhagen to the Faroe Islands. That's a good one. Faroe Islands, of course, due north of Scotland, in the North Sea. I've not flown into that yet, actually. Yeah, okay. Not sure if there's any scenery though for it. If you guys have a little look online, if you find any scenery for the Faroe Islands before we arrive in Gibraltar today, do let me know. The default Stansted is great. Is it? Secondary flight plan will come soon. What was I going to check? Progress. Cruise at flight level 370. Optimal is 390 though. Interesting. Let's see if any of this works. So, what have we got? After Delog, what do we have? Creaser. Ah well. That's going to be important for us. So it says GPS primary high, estimated 0.07. That's going to be relevant to us for our RNAV approach. And it'll become clear on the charts. Let's have a quick look. 0.07. So that's greater than the straight in landing RMP with a decision height of 465, so it's a highly accurate RNAV apparently. Required minimum is 3.4 nautical miles. Oh yeah, those terrain issues are horrendous. Hopefully though in the UK update that will be updated. I will be having a little look on some of the airports as well that get updated. Maybe Liverpool, pop into there for a flight or something. Maldives to Mauritius would be good. Mauritius is a beautiful island as well. My favourite place in the world outside of Japan is Mauritius. Beautiful country, beautiful culture and food, and incredible beaches. Martin sent the text. Novan direct 219 nautical miles. Mach 88 catching up, wow. To be fair, if you maintain that, Martin, you might catch up by the time we're starting our descent, so that'd be quite good. Nice. If you guys would like to see a tutorial on how to do this for your own aircraft, let me know in the comments. I could always do that. Callum suggested that in the live chat a little while ago. What was I checking? I was checking fuel. Let's go have a look through all of these. What they've done today is what we're testing is a update to a lot of the coding, where they're continuing to work to hard fork it off the default asobo files. So I'm effectively doing this full flight and testing the aircraft in every aspect of it all the way through to make sure nothing is playing up. Whether it does or not, I don't know. They're just placement pages still. That's still a placement page. Bleed's working. Pretty sure cabin temp should be 11 degrees though. Keith, so a tutorial on how to get my wife to like aviation. No, unfortunately not. And I wish, if I knew how, then I would. I'd have done a tutorial with my missus as well, because she hates flying, absolutely with a passion, hates flying. When I met her, she had to take 3 diazepam to get on a plane. And since I've explained a whole lot of stuff about aviation to her, and shown her how aircraft won't fall out of the sky and all the rest of it. And we were actually able 2 years ago to fly to Mauritius, 12 hours flight through the night, and she didn't move the whole time though, out of her seat, but she didn't need any diazepam, which is amazing. It's called a divorce. Hopefully the sound's not up. It's called a divorce. I think you're right. I show beautiful imagery from MSFS, she just doesn't get it. I sat my missus down, and when we went on holiday to Mauritius, I actually spawned at the airport and I flew to Port Louis, the capital on the island, and pointed out a few of the bits that we'd seen that was actually visible in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So the port area, where the sort of central market is, and things like that. We were able to point that out, and I was also able to fly to our hotel, the Maritime Resort and Spa, which is a stunning hotel, really good resort. And we were actually able to fly around that and buzz about there for 10-20 minutes, and she was able to spot things, and she was actually quite impressed by that, I think. But then 10 minutes later, as usual, I'm bored now. But she agreed actually that the new sim was so good and detailed. She was quite impressed that she was able to pick out the hotel. I basically flew down the coast up to the area which is called Balaclava, and I said to her, see if you can point out our hotel and tell me when you do. And she spotted it straight away. A330-900 Neo would be really nice in the sim actually, I think. I'd rather have an A350 though, over the A330. And I'd quite like a 777. I wouldn't necessarily do a 12-hour non-stop flight to Mauritius though. I probably wouldn't do that. That's a lot. But I'd like a 777 just to buzz about and even do some short haul like Heathrow to Madrid that BA do every now and again, cargo. I'd probably like to do that. 777's a great aircraft. I'd like a 757-200 as well, as some of you guys know, because I go on about it all the time. Nice little workhorse of an aircraft. Noga, yeah, we had a 60 knot headwind, I think. Martin's flight plans disappeared when he did direct to Novan. It might be that, so has it completely cleared? or if you click down, does it just continue from Novan? Has it wiped everything before it? Wesley sent me the LXGB to Gibraltar Airport. What's that in relation to? Can't believe how high the cloud still is this whole way. I'm sure it's updating. I mean, the wind's dropped off. 46 knots, slight crosswind, increasing crosswind. In a piece, it's got the AI flying for me some bits because I'm practicing. It collapsed with the mountain. Dennis, just asked EasyJet about the same. Are you using the experimental version of the plane? Not the experimental fly-by-wire version, although we have tested that in the past on some previous live streams. It works very well as well, by the way. I'm testing a PR branch, so we've got the stable version, which just stays the same whenever it's released until the next one replaces it. We've then got the development version with everything. Whenever I approve a PR, which is what we're testing today, and a couple of other QA testers approve it as well, that then gets merged into the development version. So that the development version can be updated 2 to 3 times a day sometimes. So my advice is always, if you're using the development version, which I highly recommend, then update it before you run the sim. So basically every day, if you're going to boot up and go onto Microsoft Flight Simulator, update your A32NX every time, so you get all the latest things getting added in. But what we're on today is a test branch of the development version, so it's one ahead of the development version basically, and we're testing out all the code, making sure absolutely everything works. So before the stream today, I went into the overhead panel and I was testing all the fast switches and all that sort of stuff, and I was turning on the test lights on the overhead panels, make sure all that works properly, and basically fiddling with it, absolutely everything on the aircraft. Reading lights and things right at the back still work nicely too, and we can twiddle those switches as well. So it's basically just testing absolutely everything, because they are continuing to make progress on moving across to a hard forked version, so it won't be reliant on Asobo's A320 model anymore if it all goes well, and that will then make it a lot more stable. Whenever Asobo release an update, it's less likely to break then. Romsey's given your controls a go. Flew from Gatwick to Zurich with his mate teaching him the A320. Had 0 issues. That's brilliant. Hopefully that all does a lot better then. Hopefully it's improved significantly. Oh, we had some real issues on the stream. For those of you who didn't catch us for that, we had a lot of problems on that trip. My controller mentoring request has been accepted. What day is that going to be? So those of you who don't know, I've started the process to become a controller on VATSIM. Neil, yep, no problem at all. I'll make a note of that then. Jacob, good afternoon. Going quite nicely actually. Nice. So my very first VATSIM mentoring session is going to be at 3 PM Friday the 22nd of January at East Midlands. Exciting. My first ever VATSIM controller session. So what I want to do over time is, you know, I'm quite comfortable with the flying elements of it being a pilot on VATSIM, but what I want to also be able to do is provide you guys sort of a controller side of the work of VATSIM as well. So especially if you want to get started on VATSIM and you've watched all my tutorials, a few people have said it'd be quite nice to have a familiar voice. So if I can do the ground training, I'll be able to do clearance delivery and ground, and I'll be able to log into an airport, so like Manchester or Birmingham for example, for you guys to fly out of, and I'll be able to do your clearance for you whilst I stream live. So I'm hoping that'll go well. It's probably going to take a few months for me to get my head around it, but I've got a lot of material to study for that. Wesley at descent.sh is a great top of descent calculator. Not 100% accurate, of course. And that's Friday, wasn't it? Friday at 3 PM, I think I just said. I better make a note of that. I'll forget. I had an email, actually. There we go, yeah. Accepted date, Friday the 22nd at 3 to 4 PM. And he's going to be teaching me how to use Euroscope and all the other systems that they use. 22nd. Well, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. An hour and a quarter. I think I'm going to be observing though, so and talking to him about things. PM. My first ever mentoring. That's going to be exciting. I've been allocated East Midlands Airport as a mentoring site, so effectively I'm going to do all of my controller training at that one airport, learning all the SIDS, stars, taxiway routes, all that sort of stuff, and learning how to verify other aircraft's flight plans and give all of the readbacks back to the pilots. Does the TCAS work so I can spot other planes? We've got it on. So threat all. We could just have it on threat only. All aircraft, aircraft above us, aircraft below us. But it doesn't actually work or do anything yet. And that's more of an issue with how the sim handles non-live traffic. So live traffic it will pick up and it will put into the sim if we were offline and we had that turned on. But on VATSIM currently TCAS doesn't work, which is really annoying for the sim. Or Echo, probably years. I think for me I'd quite like to get up to tower and then that would be it for me, I think. Wesley, Delog's quite far away for top of descent. Let's have a little look at the charts. Jacob's just recently joined the VATSIM network and did some VFR circuits. That's a good one actually, yeah, it's very good advice. Always start sort of small, so airport wise, Edinburgh is a fantastic one. If you ever see East Midlands online as well, then that's a training airport, so in all likelihood it will be someone like me tomorrow, on Friday, tuning in and learning how to do all the clearance and things like that. So Edinburgh, East Midlands and a few other bits are really good to use. We have to be at PMOS at flight level 90, so in the live chat I'm going to put a link to our top of descent calculator. And it's telling us we're going to need 91 miles with an estimated descent time of 18 minutes. 1,600 foot per minute, and that's with a 40 knot headwind. We're actually getting an increase in crosswind already. So if we turn track FPA on, you can actually see, this is how this works. You can see our heading is the yellow line on the PFD, and the centre yellow dot there, that's where our nose is pointing. But the aircraft is actually going where the bird is there, so that green symbol of an aircraft, and the green diamond on the nav display. So that's our track. So our heading is in yellow, our track is in green. And it becomes more noticeable on a crosswind, and it's really, really useful if you're using things like visual circle to land approaches or RNAV approaches and things like that. Jacob, no, I haven't got any videos about top of descent. I can certainly make one, and I can use that descent.now.sh website to help as well if you'd like to see that. Let's turn flight director back on. Our track FPA is off. William, yeah, 3 o'clock. I think it's just I'm going to be observing initially, so I don't think I'm going to be straight into the network. I think I'm going to be having a bit of a chat about how it all works, what to expect, etc. for the hour, and go from there, I guess. I need to have as much availability for the controller training as possible, so that I've got more opportunity to get it done quickly. Okay, Jacob, I have made a note of that then. Top of descent tutorial. And Wesley would like to see one as well. So Martin only has Heathrow, Diesel, LXGB. How do I put in new waypoints? If you've used the SimBrief integration, my advice would be to re-import your flight plan again from scratch, and then go from there. So Lively, hello, welcome back. Nice to have you tune in again. Martin, yeah, what I'd probably do is go back to your init A page, and if there's a request button there, I'll pull that data back in again. But if not, I'd go into your MCDU menu, ATSU, AOC, and then I'd go back into init press, and I would request that initial data again for the whole route. It should then wipe and clear this, and you should be able to then import your flight plan again. But what I will say is, before you actually click into any of that, enable manual heading select, because otherwise you'll start to turn back around on yourself. Voice crack. Yeah. Was that me or was that somebody else? I'm missing the joke. It's telling us 91 miles anyway, so we've got, how long have we got left? 549 miles, lots of time. What's your estimated waypoint? Top of descent, Wesley, I just said it's 91 miles. It doesn't really work by waypoints, so this is giving us a bit of a countdown, which doesn't help. It's going to be between Crisa and Vulpy, I would imagine. Let me just have a little look on Navigraph just to work it out. So probably at Vulpy, I'd imagine around there we're going to start our descent, because it's about 100 nautical miles, I think. 54 miles. And yeah, so about Vulpy, it's about 100 nautical miles. And then we're going to have a 1,600 foot per minute descent down to PMOS before engaging in that RNAV approach. So it doesn't really work on waypoints as such, unless the waypoint matches up. So we could go for a lesser vertical speed to match it with a waypoint. If we knew the exact mileage, we could go ahead and tinker it, so we could then maybe change the glide slope on the descent calculator 2 degrees or 4 degrees and work that out. So a 2 degree glide slope would give us 1,100 foot per minute, but we'd need 132 miles to achieve that. But the standard is about 3 degrees for a descent. Gatwick, madness, that would be quite cool. I've not done that for a long time as well, actually. But Gatwick Midweek Madness is awesome. It's for those of you not sure, it's every Wednesday, I think. Gatwick goes fully staffed on VATSIM, and hundreds and hundreds of aircraft fly in and out of the airport on the network, so it's a really good one to get involved in if you're confident with the network. Alaska 559, hello, welcome. Nice to see you tuning in today. William, I hope not. Echo's making good use of the member-only emojis there. Don't forget the new ones. And Wesley, 1000 watts, so just the top of descent calculations. So go on to the descent.now.sh, but it all depends on your data too. So I've got a start altitude of 35,000 feet, end altitude of 9,000 feet, just with a continual descent down, and the descent speed, we can actually look here in the perf page, click next phase, we can see there it's targeting a managed speed of 288 knots. So we can put that into the descent calculator, but we know as well the end altitude is below 10,000, so we want to be at 240 knots. We have to be below 250, below 10,000 foot, of course. But we also want to have a little look at the charts, although they are sideways, which doesn't help. Interestingly, the charts actually tell us to be at PMOS at flight level 6.5. Or one of the charts does. So, have a quick look at this chart as well. Flight level 90, max 240 knots. So let's amend that then to 230 knots. And it's telling us we need 92 miles, 1,600 foot per minute descent. Dylan, welcome. Any idea when the descent indicator is coming? So what they're trying to do at the moment is build in the flight plan manager from the working title CJ4 mod. So they're doing really well at sharing all the data and things, and effectively when that comes in, it's going to enable, or should enable, VNAV to start working really well for us, in which case we would be able to use managed descent, managed climb, open descent properly, and everything should start to work nicely. All the routes and things should be significantly improved as well, because apparently it gets rid of that USR waypoint that Microsoft Flight Simulator puts in every now and again, which is quite annoying. Travis, yeah, I'll put it into the live chat for you. But then with that as well, they should have the top of descent indicator built in as well with all of that. So when that gets added in, all of the cool stuff will start to follow too. And they're still making progress on the electronic flight bag as well, don't forget. So that will be coming at some point in the near future. Max is asking what BA livery am I using. It's on flightsim.to. I'll go and get the link for you, so there's a direct link for you guys to actually download it. I think it was by Frex, he says, with a really short memory. Let me find it. I love the BEA livery. That wind's changing again slightly. Interesting. Where has that gone then? Airbus A320. It's definitely on flightsim.to, but I'll just search for British Airways. I now can't see it. But I'm digging through the site. There's so many liveries being updated on this website that it does make it difficult to track one specific thing down. If the livery creators don't label it properly in the title, then it can be really difficult. Let's have a little look. JMC, so it was before JMC got released. It's before that Valaris as well. I feel like I should have started at page 10. Perhaps it got removed. I downloaded it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was a 8K or a 4K option in the pack. Ah, there we go, by Hards. So yeah, I wish he labelled it something better. But there you go, Travis. That's the Max. Sorry, that's the link to the scenery delivery. Jake's asking if I want to just do a local flight around Norfolk, beautiful part of England, class GS space. Do I need to do a flight plan on VATSIM? Good question. All you need to do is log into VATSIM, click on the flight plan tab, and then you choose your flight type as VFR. You'd still need to label your departure and destination airports if you've got an idea of where you're going from and to. If you're going to fly out and then fly back to the same airport, put the same one in departure and destination. Consider a diversion airport as well, of course. Try and put one in if you can. And fill out everything on the left as best as you can. But in route, just type local VFR. That's all you need to add into there. Just local VFR. For remarks, I always just put MSFS, so they know we're on Microsoft Flight Simulator. And that's it. And click File. Graham, frequent flyer, asking, does anybody know if you can have individual liveries made for you at a price? Yes. Of course, those of you who are familiar with my tutorials, you'll know that I've got a bespoke British AvGeek livery, which I've had made thanks to Tommy HBK. Which features actually at the very beginning of the stream too as well. Pilot Stud, hello. Good afternoon, I hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, those of you who are not sure, I've got a I think it's a stunning British AvGeek livery. It took a little while drawing it all up, and then I sent it over to him and gave him a little donation to say thank you. Well, a decent donation to say thank you. What he actually did as well for me is create an AI model. So for my model matching rule for my own computer, I edited the asobo one, so if it can't match anything, what it now does is it matches a British AvGeek A320 livery instead, which is awesome. I love that. So I get to see it all the time, even if I'm not using it. But I of course try to use my own livery on any tutorials that I do. Echo, the operator land one is good. Does it still work though? I remember it broke a couple of updates ago, didn't it? I'm not sure if it still works or not. I deleted it a couple of months back because of that, and it just wasn't updated, so I haven't used it since. Romsey learnt VATSIM flying out of Gatwick in the deep end. Jumping in the deep end is always good if you're confident enough. For some people that works really well, doesn't it? That's what I did when I got on the network. But I did have a fair bit of lingo as well behind me to help. Down there below us, Spanish coast, and that might be Bilbao actually. Let's have a little look. That's where the moving map on VATSIM is quite cool. Airport right below us is Santander in Spain, that we could see through the cloud down there. Further east, of course, due east from us right now would be Bilbao. Love the weather engine in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I might have to download the operator land one again then, Echo, if that's the case. That was featured quite heavily in my initial model matching rule, so it'd be quite nice to have that back in again. That worked very well for that. Yeah, Gatwick midweek madness with Storm Christoph. It's a recipe for disaster, isn't it? It's going to be absolute chaos for the controllers. And I'd imagine if it gets really bad, I mean the weather at the moment, I'm near Heathrow, the weather's closing in quite nasty now as it is, and at the start of the stream we had significant winds on departure as well, so it's going to make for a good midweek madness. But if they employ low vis procedures, then there's going to be a lot of waiting around on the ground, a lot of slot delays for people. Jake, good afternoon, I hope you're well, thanks for tuning in. I was tempted to do Gibraltar to Heathrow just to catch the Storm Christoph, as Max is saying there, as it closes in on London, but I wanted to check out Gibraltar, and we're going to have almost 30 knot crosswinds on approach, gusting into Gibraltar, so particularly bad weather there for us as well, in rain and low cloud cover, so that's going to make for an interesting arrival. For those of you who are channel members, if you want to see, or if you want to have any other particular emojis, then let me know. Jake, yes, there is indeed a midweek madness. There's actually a great website to, let me find it. There's a great website that shows you everything that's coming up on VATSIM on the network, dates, times, and if you click into them as well, it will give you all of the information required. Click that link. Echo's got his VATSIM traffic set to the liveries mega pack, and you don't want the 8K liveries. If you've got tons of those, it can absolutely smash your performance, can't it? We're starting to go into cloud. I might put the old seatbelt sign on for a bit just to see what happens. Well, we're at 35,000 feet and just tickling the cloud. Let's watch the wings. We'll get a bit of wing flex going on as we hit turbulence, hopefully. Jake, no problem at all. I regularly check that to see if there's any daytime on it. I tend to stream at about 1 o'clock in the day if I can. There goes that wing flex. I love the modelling, the physics on here. Yeah, I made a good decision with the seatbelt sign then. Look at that wing flex. That's awesome. Wesley, I've turned it back on to MSFS live weather. Max, yes, the 27th of January I think it is. The UK update. We're going to have Barra, of course. Infamous beach landing in the northern parts of Scotland. Gadget, hello, welcome back. We've just passed Santander and we're making our way down to Madrid at the moment, so we're making really good progress. We're in Spanish airspace already. Valencia approach is online, bizarrely. Never seen that online before on VATSIM. And 35,000 feet, and we're in cloud now with a bit of turbulence. Although it looks like that's starting to fizzle out again. I love the layering of the clouds, so good. Look at all that down below. Darren, yeah, I think I'm starting to do the same, to be honest. So after departure today, around about 10,000 foot, I put it back onto the normal Microsoft Flight Simulator Live weather. Echo, that's a good shout actually, especially with the new update. If we get Barra, we could do a lot of we could do some flights in and out of Barra with the brand new handcrafted updates, like Liverpool to Barra or something perhaps. Back out of the cloud. A little bit of clear air turbulence still. Echo 1.49k, climbing slowly lately. Went through a big old surge over the last month. It seems to have sort of teetered off a little bit, but hopefully more people start to view the channel and enjoy the content and click subscribe. If you're enjoying today's stream and you haven't already done so, do give us a little thumbs up, click on the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'd love if you could help me grow the channel. Gadget, yeah, so we should do another VFR flight at some point. I agree, actually, it's quite nice. Particularly in Microsoft Flight Simulator, the VFR side of things is absolutely incredible, isn't it? Great graphics, great scenery. Max wants the Stansted by Gaia to come out. Hopefully that won't take too long to arrive. Never flown out of Stansted myself, not too much of a fan for it. Birmingham for me was my home airport growing up, so quite an affiliation to that, and it's a great scenery as well. Manchester's great for those short haul hops, but also Heathrow, Gatwick to Manchester, that's a good one. The Gatwick freeway scenery is amazing. The guy's creating Ultra Star, I think it's called, which is he's basically building Gatwick from the ground up again. Jake, good question. It is, yes. Gibraltar is the runway, the airport with the runway going over the road, and one side of the airport is the border back into Spain, which is quite politically toxic, I think. The Spanish still think Gibraltar's theirs. Echo loves Stansted as well. A lot of love for Stansted Airport. I heard it was the world's most depressing waiting room or something like that. It was given the nickname of, because it's just one massive departure lounge. So it's always really put me off flying there. I tend to fly from either Gatwick or Heathrow, predominantly with BA if I can. Max, yeah, unfortunately we've not heard very much at all. Ever since the Aerosoft marketing team decided to take over and quieten up the developers, their forums have gone radio silent. I had heard bumblings that it might be coming out in the next week or so, but that was about a week ago, so I'm starting to doubt that as well. That would be great, of course, with Birmingham Airport when that comes out. The CRJ when the CRJ put the teeth in. When the CRJ comes out, it'd be great for Birmingham Airport. Good little regional hops, especially for those of you with Fly UK. Jay's near Liverpool Airport. You'll be looking forward to the Liverpool John Lennon update then in the UK World Update, I'm sure. Echo, Heathrow Terminal 5 is fantastic. Terminal 2's new but very small. Gatwick's old, isn't it? But pretty good. Especially if you can get into a lounge and out of the way a little bit. Gatwick's quite nice to fly from. UK update, I think it's 27th of January. Echo, I think Delta flight out of Terminal 2 from memory, so probably out there. In fact, they do fly at Terminal 2. I think they operate the 767-400 as well into Heathrow, which is rare. Max, you're right there, especially lately. Heathrow especially might be only a handful of flights a day. Gatwick barely any as well. Midweek Madness, probably one of those days on VATSIM covers the entire Gatwick traffic for probably about a month and a half. More or less, yeah, well, I'll have to watch out for the road. Hopefully they close it by the time we arrive. We don't get any cars driving over. Hyper, I made it. Spent this morning sort of like creating it all, getting it all tweaked. A little bit fiddly. You have to change the perspectives and the angles and things, but it took me about an hour, I think, to get it just sort of nice and right. Jake, the PMDG 737, is it going to be a thing still? Yes, it is. Although they've revised their release estimate, I think. So I think they're looking at about December 2021 and slightly beyond for a release date for that, which is really annoying. Neil, about 300 a day at Heathrow. That's good. That's gone up then. That's good to hear. I think at one point it dropped down to about 100 a day. Maybe not even that, which is a real shame, but hopefully it's all picking up. Echo, I agree with you there. I can't wait for that first Quality Wings 787 trip. Hyper, thank you. I was, as I was saying at the start of the stream, I was going to try and stick it on the overhead panel in one of these areas here. I still might add my logo into that bit as well, but I couldn't work out what the panels were for that, and obviously the A32NX mod comes with a customised folder, which gives you a very brief detail on how to tweak it basically, but it just basically tells you roughly what to do very quickly without going into much detail. Morale is asking how can I mod the livery of the aircraft. For my British Avgeek livery for the channel, I got the help of a fantastic livery creator who does a lot of stuff on flightsim.to, Tommy HBK. So he did a great bit of work for me. Got an 8K livery built for the channel with from my drawing that I'd sent him. Max, yeah, I think cargo's the main side of aviation now, isn't it? Gadget, all of the very latest A32NX mods have got the customise plate in it. Somebody was asking earlier, a couple of people are asking how to actually edit that, and what I'll do over the next few days is, probably actually on Friday, I'll try and work on it. I'll get a video done to show you guys exactly how to do that. Although you'll need PNGs of stuff created ready, but I'll show you guys what to do and explain how to do it. Echo, yeah, I'll be doing a load of proving flights. Heathrow, probably like yourself, 787 BA Heathrow to Madrid and back, and then I might expand it to Athens. Athens is a real route that BA operate on the Dreamliner every now and again, so I'll probably use that as well. Wesley started his descent at Volpe. God, what was your cruise speed, Wesley? You're absolutely blasted miles ahead. You took off after us and you're 240 miles ahead. Wow. Neil, you could do in theory, yes. You have to name the file in the same way that Microsoft Flight Simulator looks for it. So there's only one way that you can name it, but you could in theory add a whole load of files onto, say, like my documents or somewhere in your computer, and you could have a load of stuff input. So if you're going to have, for example, we're in GTTNH at the moment, and if we wanted to, we could create a Celcal plate for that. But we'd have to add it. We'd have to create a folder first, and then put the file into it with that ready to go. So we'd have to swap it all in and out basically, which is quite a lot. of work. Because I do a lot of QA testing as well, I delete my A32NX folder about twice a day to put in the new testing files. So I've had to create a separate sort of area in my computer with that file in it, so that every time I update it I could just drag this texture back in. But thankfully my logo and things, I've actually pretty much generated it in 8K with very, very high quality. So I've been able to downscale it to the 4K cockpit textures very nicely without losing any resolution on it. So it's really nice, crisp and clear. Well, I'm glad you guys are liking it. Max, yeah, but the Birmingham scenery is fantastic already. Really good work done by Mako Simulations. Exceptionally good price as well. It's like almost a no-brainer, isn't it? $8.99, isn't it, in early access with free future updates for life, so you get to watch it progress. Top of descent calculator was 92 miles, so 1,600 foot per minute. So we can sort of roughly guess. There's PMOS. So it's going to be between Vulpy and Mar. As we get closer, we'll drop the nav display range in a little more. Let's get that seatbelt sign off for a bit longer. Thought it was going to get rough, but it hasn't. And soon we'll pull the latest METAR in and have a little look to see what we can expect when we get there. When we departed, we were looking at almost 30 knot crosswind gusts. Max, exactly, and the whole beauty of the Mako Sim Birmingham and Manchester is that they progress over time. So he's constantly updating it and tweaking it, optimising it, working on all of the bits that are missing as well over time. So definitely setting a new standard. I mean, I was looking at Samos earlier. One of the training videos for Fly UK that I've been asked to do on the channel is the tricky approach into Samos. But I was looking at the scenery for it. There's a freeware scenery available on flightsim.to, which looks really good. But then there's a payware scenery. It was £23 for a tiny, tiny little regional airport in Greece. I just don't understand how they could justify charging so much. So for that, I'll just stick with the default, I think, or download the free scenery that's available. Love a bit of freeware scenery. Let's have a little look at our progress. So Madrid's there, LEMD. So we're about 5-10 minutes. We'll be passing Madrid directly below, and then heading down towards the south coast. So making great progress. Look how far we've come already. 3/4 of the way there, and that's with a fairly strong crosswind on the way in. Wesley, I think you're very far ahead, so don't worry. You can get in and land ahead of me. Echo, nice. I'll have a little look. I'll open the Discord server. God, the latest Volanta updates look fantastic, don't they? Yeah, that is a nice nice livery you've got there, definitely. I'll stick the 2 screenshots I've got into that generic screenshots page as well on the Discord server too. The little queue that we had on departure and things. Neil, nice. I'll definitely get that free scenery for Samos then, if that's the case. It must be difficult, especially if these payware operators are charging for Samos and somebody's got a freeware version out that's pretty much exactly the same. Max, great question. What aircraft would I be hoping for this year in Microsoft Flight Simulator? My big three are 777, A350 and 757-200, but with everything that's on offer and on the way, probably most looking forward to the Aerosoft, actually the Quality Wings 787 I think. It's probably the one I'm most looking forward to. This high level cloud is absolutely mad. What would you guys be looking forward to the most in the live chat? Let me know what you're most looking forward to in the year ahead for the sim. A particular aircraft or particular scenery or anything like that. Scenery wise, I'd quite like to see a East Midlands airport. Jake, I think their target was around summer 2021. I think it was Q2 to Q3 of 2021. So hopefully Quality Wings are on track to release around then. Hopefully they don't delay it like everybody else seems to be doing. Neil, that's great advice. Stephen, yes, well remembered. I should know that, I'm a QA tester for them. Yeah, so the fly-by-wire team are creating an A380, which has already got some good progress going on at the moment. Mainly internal, flight deck, etc. But they're working on the external model as well. That's going to be that's going to be great to fly, I think. Jake, I'd love to see an A340, 600 or a different variant. Neil would like the ATR-72, great little regional aircraft. Pepper, no, we were on departure, but I've actually switched it back to MSFS live weather, and it's pretty accurate at the moment. Graham would love the PMDG 737-800 and a Guy Munich. The 737 would be good when that comes out. I know they have delayed it quite a lot, haven't they? So it's going to be pushing back to December 2021 and beyond, unfortunately. But that would be good. Charlie would love to see a Hawk T1. Oh yeah, and some Angle C scenery to go with it. That'd be great. Do the Mach loop. Stephen would like to see an A220. So there's two A220s being worked on at the moment, from what I've seen. There's one by Whiskey Simulations, and that looks like it's going to be quite good. But also there's one being created by a group called TAP Designs. I think primarily for X-Plane, but they're working on a Microsoft Flight Simulator version as well, which will be quite good. However long they take, I don't know when to expect any of those, to be fair. Like the Parallel 757 project, I doubt we'll ever see it, to be honest. I think it's all sort of like one of those Discord servers that's been created for hype, and that's kind of it. A lot of exterior modelling going on with it, but beyond that I don't think they've got the knowledge to actually create a working aircraft. I'm hoping the A380 will be ready to test around summertime, and hopefully I'll still be a QA tester for them by then. So then I'll be doing a lot of test flight streams in the A380 for you guys, if that's the case. I might do it anyway, even if I've lost my QA. Keith would love the CRJ and the replay function. So I think there's two replay mods that have been created for the sim now currently, and also asobo, I think, on one of their development updates lately, have shown that a replay function is under prototype for them at the moment too. So be interested to see what comes directly from asobo. Jake, yeah, A340-600 would be good. Maybe an A330neo. Yeah, that would be quite nice. Definitely favour the A350 over the 330 though. Jay would love an A340-600 as well, and would also like the Mad Dog MD-80. Going old school. Echo asking if I'm going to get the F-15. Probably not. Not particularly well received on VATSIM unless you're in part of like the RAF Virtual or whatever they're called. But then there's particularly strict protocols and things like that in place. So if I got something like that, it would all have to be offline. Would be awesome though. Max wants the 777. Yeah, definitely Echo. With the GE90 engines, that'd be great. Fantastic engine option. Most of the BA 777s have got the GE90 as opposed to the Rolls-Royce engine options. '90 would love to see an MD-11. Never got to fly one in flight sim. Oh yeah, that'd be quite rare, wouldn't it? Would be good though. The CRJ will be good. It will test people's ability to fly a lot better because the Airbus is obviously a dream, isn't it? It's all automated for us, so all of this pretty much just stays still for the entire flight, and it all handles itself quite nicely. But the actual CRJ hasn't got auto thrust, so for descent and landing and everything else, it's all down to the pilot making changes and inputs throughout the flight. So even on cruise. That'll test people quite significantly, I think. David would love a Dash 8 or the like. That would be good actually, and it'd be nice to have a little Flyby livery as well. Do a load of UK hops around there. 767 would be nice. I'd love a 300 with the Thompson livery. It'd have to have a Britannia Airways one as well. Go real old school with it. That classic Britannia look, and the 757. 90, yeah, I do wonder why they, what the real reason is behind them delaying it. Hopefully it's not particularly broken. I thought, the way it was progressing, I thought they were getting really close to release. And then all of the hype's died off on their forum, hasn't it? Quite disappointing. I think their marketing team have realised that it doesn't matter what is said on their forums, they're still going to sell a hell of a lot of Aerosoft CRJs. So I guess from a marketing perspective, they've just basically said use the time better on actually developing the aircraft rather than mucking about answering questions on the forum. A lot of the time it was the same question asked 100 times over anyway. They put a lot of effort into, before they stepped in though, there was a lot of, oh, we're going to try and release it for Christmas, so it got a lot of people G'd up and excited, so it was a little disappointing. 93, no news about any A320s. There's an A220 being worked on and an A350 being worked on. Flybywire are working on an A380 as we were saying earlier, which is going to be amazing. But I think a lot of the developers are just leaving the Flybywire team to get on and own the A320, if that makes sense. There's been a significant amount of work and improvements made, so it would make no sense really for a developer to spend a lot of time and energy making a study level A320. I certainly wouldn't bother buying it, not with the fly-by-wire mod. Max, yeah, the SDK is pretty bad, isn't it, to be fair, from what I've heard. Although it's improved a lot for scenery developers. We're going to be on Unicom all the way, I think. Let's see if we can work out range. Full pay and 120. Then 60 to Mar. And then PMOS. So yeah, pretty much when we hit full P, we'll be at top of descent, and we'll start to we'll come out of cruise. And we're going to be targeting 9,000 foot. 93, yeah, VNAV, it is coming. It's just taking a lot of time. They want to put in place the working titles, flight plan manager, and a few other things like that first. They've done great progress on that, so I think when that comes in, it's going to be it'll unlock a lot of things. 'Cause things like VNAV are on pause at the moment until they get the flight plan manager working. Hyper, yeah. So the electronic flight bag, it's going to go there. I think it's about 3/4 of the way there at the moment. So I think they've made some great progress. A lot of tweaking to be done still. A lot of issues to be ironed out. But you know, they are making very good progress on the electronic flight bag. Of course, when it goes through to testing, it'll be down to people like myself and a couple of the other A320 testers for the fly-by-wire team to try and break it. So we'll be streaming. The moment that electronic flight bag becomes available, we're going to be getting some streams on and showing it off and seeing how it works. David, it's going okay. A lot of documents to read, but they've got some handy crib sheets for me. I've been assigned to East Midlands Airport, and my first ATC mentoring session is on Friday at 3 PM, so quite excited for that. So I've waited about 6 months. Max, yeah, it is going to be quite good. A lot's going to go into it. So within the EFB, they're going to have a section here with checklists and a whole lot of other stuff. Performance calculator is going to go into it as well. So when we're configuring the aircraft and we want to work out our flex to temp and everything else, we'll be able to do it all via the EFB. Not sure what really to expect for this first controller session on Friday. I'm looking forward to it though, but I think I'm going to be doing a lot more observing than actually controlling and getting on the radio. Learning how to do everything is going to be quite key. As an observer at the moment, I can log in, but I can't actually go into aircraft flight plans and amend it all. So Jake, good question. He's been thinking of joining VATSIM ATC. Give a small overview of the process. So about September time, I filled out their new controller request. There's some Moodle courses, S2 controller rating and things like that you've got to complete with a couple of quizzes, tests, and you basically then just join a waiting list. It's about 6 months for VATSIM UK, and you have to wait for an email basically. So when your turn in the queue appears, you'll have an email going up. You've been booked onto this mentoring session, this seminar. Tune in on TeamSpeak at this date at this time, and you have to confirm that you'll be attending. So it took me about 6 months. I wasn't actually given an email for it. Effectively, before the seminar started, I logged in because they released the time and date. I tuned into TeamSpeak ready and just sat in the lobby, and they went through the list. They had 4 no-shows for the seminar, so 4 people didn't turn up for their slot, and I got pulled in, thankfully. So all the waiting, they pulled me in to join the seminar, and I came out of that queue. I think I still had about a month to wait before my turn. David is going to check over my knowledge of specifics of EGNX, runway selection, valid departures, etc. Then we'll start you controlling simulated traffic. Wow. Thankfully EGNX has only got a couple of departures, Pole Hill, Trent, Daventry, Brooklands Park. Cat 3, Cat 2, They're going to be the big ones for like low-vis procedures as well, so different hold points, different taxi routes. They're going to be quite important. I guess it only is really going to deal with ground elements. It's not going to go into a tower or anything because I won't be able to control air, only apron and stands, taxiways. Jake, yeah, so after the seminar I then had to complete another Moodle course, and that one was angled all about specific things for East Midlands. So I've had to go through all of that, learning about the different SIDS, stars, and there's quizzes all the way through that basically, and then a final test to make sure you've understood the basic knowledge of it. And once you pass that, it allows you to then book in sessions, mentoring sessions. So it's quite a lengthy process. And then, as David's saying there, if I get all the way through this and I do well, and I get signed off after a final exam, I'll be able to do ground and delivery, which would be quite good for you guys wanting to get started on the network. Someone was asking as well, 93 asking if I was on the stable, dev or experimental fly-by-wire. Because I'm a QA tester, I'm not on any of those. I'm one ahead of the development version basically, because I'm testing something that's about to be put into the development version by doing the full flight. So I've got like a PR branch, test branch. David, may I minute start you on VFR delivery? Thankfully the crib sheets they give you is quite handy. I'll be able to have those open the whole time. So I guess it's just working all of that out. For me, the difficulty is going to come with communicating and coordinating with air and everything else, and getting my head around calling up, saying GMC air and that side of it. That's probably going to be my challenge. Bumpy, 83 knot crosswind now. So to demonstrate track FPA again, if I turn this on, get rid of the flight director, you can now see how much we're crabbing. So nav display, the yellow line is where the nose is facing, and again on the PFD as well, the yellow line at the bottom is where the nose is facing. The yellow dot in the centre of the PFD, the artificial horizon, is where the nose is going, but the green bird is all the way off to the side. That's where the aircraft's going, so that's our track, and that's also useful to us on the nav display where the diamond is. So really significant crosswind. David, nice. That's good then. VFR, I'm still yet to get my head around VFR in the sim. I'm hoping it goes okay. I'm hoping that on Friday they don't expect me to know absolutely everything already. Bumpy. Let's see. It's annoying that this doesn't work. So we should be able to map for turbulence. Maybe it does. No. Echo, yep, we will be. Pretty much when we get to Volpe, or just before Volpe, we'll start to commit to our descent. Hello pilot, welcome. It's going okay. We'll be putting in our destination data very soon actually, so obviously this is all blank still at the moment, but we're programmed for the RNAV 27. David, awesome. That's sounds good. I think it's one of those things. Once I start doing it, it'll hopefully all just click quite nicely. Let's get the latest METAR for Gibraltar, and it's still pretty hideous actually for us. Winds 220 degrees, 14 knots, gusting 32 now actually, so it's got significantly worse in rain. A few clouds at 600 feet, that's interesting. I think our minimums is about then. Wesley can see us somewhere. Pillar Pilot, thanks. I'm glad you like it. Spent a little while this morning just getting it all set up and put into the textures. The METAR for LXGB. I'll pin that for you guys so you can see how bad the weather's going to be. A few clouds at 600 feet and broken at 1,000 is going to be interesting for us. And it's also low visibility, 2.5 kilometres. At 93, no, I used to, many years ago, used to fly light aircraft. Oh yeah, there's Wesley. Wesley, I'd said not to worry about slowing down for us. I don't want to bunch up because the weather is so bad. If we bunch up, there's going to be a backtrack required on the runway. We need at least 2 or 3 minutes separation. Andrew, welcome. Favourite destinations, Gibraltar? I've never been in real life. And Echo said he was behind as well. Oh, there's Echo. Wow. Lights in the distance. I think Martin's still on his way as well. Martin, let us know how far away you are. Brilliant. Let's just get down. Come on, Wesley, behave. Yeah, Wesley, you've got Echo behind you as well, don't forget. So we don't want to bunch up too much because it's going to affect him as well. It was 1,600 foot per minute, so we'll do 1,300 for now. Because we've had to start descending a little early. Six inbound tracks to Gibraltar from David, thank you. Yeah, I think it's just a really bad way of doing AI in the sim, I think. It's one of those really odd things that the sim does. Echo's going to get himself all set up very early. Probably a good thing to do in this weather. It's got significantly worse actually since we departed. So it's going to be gusting 32 knots. That's a significant increase from 14 knots with a crosswind. About 50 degree offset for runway 27. So as we get close, let's have a little look here. We're going to be in via PMOS. And we're going to be taking the RNAV approach for runway 27. We're going to need about 3 or 4 minutes, I think, between each of us flying in because of the backtracker involved. 1993's operated 8 and only landed at Gibraltar for 6 of them. So what do you do then, Andrew? Landing on 27, winds 220 degrees, 14 knots, gusting 32, was it? Yeah, gusting 32. What was I doing? Got sidetracked. Let's put in our destination data. On the charts, in absence of ATC, a transition altitude is 6,000. But we've got winds. We'll start at the top, so QNH 1014. Temperature is 15 degrees Celsius. Winds of 220 degrees at 14 knots, gusting 32. And we're going to need to look at our decision altitudes. Yeah, 93. It might be the case. Peter Pilot, you can indeed, although we've not actually got that in. We haven't got any. I've got it set to VPilot VATSIM, so we haven't got any controllers on, so we can't actually get the data. We've got a company message. From Easy. That's William. Just left Gatwick for Jersey, I'm guessing. So decision heights, there we go, what was I doing? Let's show Navigraph. So here we go. Minimums, this is going to be interesting. So 0.03 is the accuracy on the sim, apparently, according to the MCDU. So we'll be using the RMP-0.12. And that's just like relevant to the accuracy of the RNAV approach, the GPS. And the MDA for this is 465, so that's pretty much just below the cloud base. And there's our destination data all input ready to go. We can check as well, we've got PMOS and then we've got GB270, which we can see on the charts there, GB270 followed by 272, which isn't there, interestingly. I think maybe the sim's called it something different. Cooksox is the initial fix. That's there. Good. GB276 is in. GB27 Foxtrot is in as well. That's max of 160 knots. We're going to be thrown around loads when we get to this point, I think. And then land. This is where I wish secondary flight plan would be very good for us, because if we did have to divert, we'd have to activate all of that and trigger our alternate. Let's pop this off for a little longer, shall we? We go through this cloud, we'll have to put anti-ice and things on as well, because the sim still puts ice on everything. You can see the dotted line that was on the maps as well when I had Navigraph on your screens. So we have to fly straight over the airfield and then head back out over the water. So sweeping left turn out to up and join the hold, and then get vectored back round for another go. And that is climb to 4,000 feet, follow final approach track to runway 27, then ahead to GMB 03, 040506, and then up, enter holding at 4,000 or as directed by ATC. Mandatory altitude at GB27F is 1,500, so we have to be at 1,500 at GB27F, then with a 3-degree glide slope. And I'll show you guys how the track FPA stuff works on the way in as well. What is cool, we'd be able to leave it in automation if we wanted to, and then trigger FPA down to 3.0, and that would give us a 3-degree rate of descent. How are you guys doing behind? So one is still very high. That might be Wesley, I'm not sure. Directly above, and then Echo closing in as well. So one of you guys might have to enter the hold if you bunch too closely. Great scenery down below. Don't forget, lots of ways to support the stream. Super Chat is a great feature, as well as channel memberships now live on the channel. Echo, Wesley, Graham, a few others have already sponsored the channel. Hence the cool colours and the special emojis and things. We can see PMOS about 80 miles away now. So what we can do is quickly type in, is it 230? So it's still giving us, quickly just worked out our rate of descent again, and it's given us 534 foot per minute. With 53 nautical miles, so let's see, what does a 2% glide slope give us? 75, which is bang on accurate, 1,100 foot per minute. William, I guessed. It was a good guess. I saw you on the Discord server earlier getting I think charts or METAR data for Jersey, so I put 2 and 2 together. Wesley and Echo, have you guys got your charts all ready to go and set up, or some towering cumulonimbus clouds over there? The weather sounds like it's going to be pretty miserable from the minute we enter these clouds. Echo, I'm not sure actually. You know what? I might just leave it on. Below 10,000, I'll put Unreal Weather on, back on, I think, because then it will pull the latest METAR, I guess. Although if it pulls the wrong METAR, then we'll be stuck with it for about 10 minutes. XR, our cruise was 35,000 feet. We've got 60 miles to PMOS, so we have to be at 9,000 there, so we're just descending to PMOS for then. 60 miles away. Andrew, yep, could do. Flown into Funchal a couple of times. Definitely tricky. I did it for, there was a Tenerife VATSIM event, Tenerife to Madeira, a couple of weeks ago, about maybe a couple of months ago actually. So we joined that was quite good. Really bad weather as well then. What do you guys think? Should I put Unreal Weather back on as we get closer, or should I leave it on, the Microsoft Flight Simulator Live Weather, and see if it's accurate? Turbulence is already starting actually. Let's get the seatbelt signs on. What is going on here? It's a little bit self-correction, is it? Oh, brilliant, it's just decided to take itself straight to the runway. Let's use track FPA. I want to track at 177. Brilliant, don't you love it when it breaks? Graham says leave it, so we'll leave it on. We'll leave it on the MSFS live weather. Andrew, ETA should be at the top of your screen. Maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes max. So for our nav approach, we'll leave track FPA on, especially now it's broken. We're gonna have to manually do it. We'll arm approach phase when we get closer, but additionally, we leave these off. And we'll need to set our, where's our METAR again? QNH 1014. While we descend, I'll just set that. Yeah, thankfully now we've got track FPA, especially because we've got a 50 knot, 5 knot crosswind, we can activate track FPA mode and effectively set the track of the aircraft as opposed to heading. So we're telling the aircraft to fly to that green diamond. And it's working out then with the crosswind component, it needs to give itself a heading of what we're at now, for example, 184. So there's a 10-degree offset. And for flight path angle, and we'll see it as we get closer, if we want a 3-degree glide slope, we can wind that down to 3 degrees, and the nose will go down to 3 degrees. Similarly, we want a 2-degree glide slope, so that's what we're getting there. Look, we can see the position of the bird. Sim Flying Club, no, unfortunately the sim has decided to break itself, so we're in track FPA, and if you're using track FPA, you turn flight directors off. I'll have to make some little adjustments and stuff as we go. Let's put constraints on. Let's zoom back out again, shall we? It's about 38 miles to go. Exile, no, I don't use Rex. I use Unreal Weather, usually. That's pretty good. And it's free, of course. And Rex Weather, when people say they can inject their own weather effects, you can actually do that yourself by just clicking the drop down. You can select, for example, rain, and then you can just drag all of this to whatever you want, add your wind layers, and then save those as presets yourself. So that they're charging for something that actually people could do quite easily, I think. 30 miles to go. Let's just do a quick bit of maths. What we have, 14,000 feet, or 9,000. $33 miles, 2 degrees, so we want a 2.5 degree glide slope. Glide path angle, 628. Actually, let's put it back onto 3. Into the cloud. Seatbelt signs will stay on now. William, yeah, no they don't. Still English territory, that. So PMOS at flight level 90 it says. And then we've got to descend down to 1,500 by GB27F. So what I might do is 1,500. The beauty of this as well is it actually sticks to 3 degrees track FPA. So whereas before we'd have to change the heading, the vertical speed would disappear and everything else, actually now in this instance it stays at 3 degrees. And you can see the position of the aircraft there. It's fighting the weather, of course, it's getting thrown around quite a bit. But we're using the bird. Echo apparently is right above, Wesley's apparently right above me. No idea. There's, oh, there's the guys. Pillow pilot, yeah, it is very low visibility. So the METAR is telling us it's only 2.5 kilometers vis. In rain, few clouds at 600, and into the horrific weather we go. Probably for the remainder of the trip. Ice. $10,000. So that didn't work out as I thought. We're going to want medium auto brake. Off the top of my head, let's have a quick look at the charts, runways and things. Lots of issues, wind effects. 1,777 metres. Runway visual range is 2,100 metres, so it's the visibility is just over the required minimums for this. Aviation simulation, hello again. We are in the cloud on our descent in. Echo is going to enter the hold. Gibraltar Tower, Speedbird 4902, 9,000 feet inbound PMOS for RNAV runway 27. You know what, I'm going to activate approach phase, that's going to help us control our speed. Put it back into managed mode. And our next target was 1,500, wasn't it? Lots to do with it being bad weather. Mandatory 1,500 at GB. So we can get that ready. Exile probably will, won't we? Let's have a quick look at the engines, shall we? Yeah, look at that, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Wing flex is great though. Martin's about 90 miles out. That's not too bad actually, to be honest. Wesley's going to come in number 2, probably 4 or 5 minutes behind me. Echo a couple of minutes behind him. So then by that point you'll probably be on the way in for a straight-in approach. All the lights are on. That's the cabin secure. Flaps 1. It is early, but the weather is pretty miserable, so we are getting bumped about though. Let's put the weather radar on, see what that's like. If you're new to the channel, click subscribe. And if you're enjoying the stream as well, give us a little thumbs up. I wonder if I go direct PMOS, if that's going to break it. That might have woke it up there. Minimums for the approach, Jake, 465 foot is the MDA, but the runway visual range is 2.2 kilometres. So quite a tricky one for us. The weather itself, it's few clouds at 600, but the actual visibility is 2,500 metres, so 2.5 kilometres, and we're pretty much right at the minimums really for the approach. Let's start our flight path angle. We'll go for 3 degrees. We're monitoring this because we want to make sure that the aircraft doesn't do some weird stuff as we pass PMOS. We can arm approach phase. Doesn't do much for the RNAV, it's just telling it that it's approach nav. Echoes at 210, it's still very close. Here comes the bad rain. R136, so it's doing some weird stuff again, isn't it? Actually no, it's looking pretty good. R136 is there, so maybe it's picked itself back up again. 44 knots crosswind. Good grief, this is right on the minimums I think for this this arrival today.
Mother Gibraltar Tower, I will be doing a 360 to extend the range of the aircraft.
So Wesley's sounds like he's doing a hold at PMOS. Neil, good question. Good point. We're over the water, but should be pretty good. It's a good shout having that on. There's not very much to see on the drone cam. Pablo, wipers, I could turn them on, but they don't actually do anything, as you can see. So actually more of a distraction than anything else. And in fairness, flying through the water, it's going to wipe it anyway. They're better use on the ground. Nox Gaming, this is asobos. This is Microsoft Flight Simulators live in sim weather. I've turned unreal weather off. We've still got a 40 knot crosswind. Passing R136, the nav display should then target 187. He says. So I'm just keeping an eye on that closely. Yep, that's actually doing that quite nicely. 4 nautical miles to R187. Just after Cooksock's there, those next 2 waypoints we have to be at 1,500 feet. Yeah, live weather has definitely improved significantly. 41 knot headwind for us now. Nox Gaming, you know what? I'd probably give it a go. In fairness, it probably do quite well. Flaps 2. It does say 9,000 on the constraints. Yeah, it's one of the strange pieces of nav data that we've got. Basically, PMOS is at 9,000, but the sim thinks that all of these random waypoints it's put in should be the same. Even the final approach, look, it's at 9,000 up to GB27F, which is correct, 1,500. So it's one of those asobo bugs. And with flaps 2 now and slowing down to some of our approach sort of speeds. The MDA was climbed to 4,000, runway heading, and then over the bay, not that we'd see it, but it'd be a sweeping turn back round. In this weather, that's definitely where terrain map would come in handy. .60. Let's see on the map. From GB27F, it's a 4.5 nautical mile final approach. So about 15 miles and we'll be done. I wonder when the cloud base is going to break. I'll put the METAR back in the live chat for you guys as a reminder. It's gusting 35 knot crosswind, apparently, according to the METAR. 32 knots. Spoilers aren't, auto brake medium, we've done the cabin secure, we'll leave icing on because it's the sim and it's silly, it doesn't work properly. That's all looking good. That's ready to go. Missed approach isn't in, but it's missed approach is going to be effectively flying it in and round like that. AAB 876, wonder who that is then, runway vacated. Gibraltar traffic, speedbird 4902 is left base for the RNAV at runway 27. 2,500. Jay, nice. I do like a challenge. You guys that tune in regularly will know that. We've got absolutely no visibility outside. We're at 2,500 foot at the moment. 7 miles till we reach that 1,500 foot mandatory altitude at GB27F. There's the terrain map showing the rock just coming into view. Okay, that looks good. And we've got our landing checklists now appeared as well. Aviation simulation this, because there's no visibility. Paro, we could see what we were doing and where we were going, even though it was a very tricky approach. We knew where we were going because we could see everything, but this we're at the absolute minimums of what we can do, otherwise we'd have to divert to Malaga. Easy 293's got visual on me. How? What weather are you using? Okay, let's go gear down. About 10 miles now. And full flaps. Yeah, it is a squeaky bum time. Ben, newborn flight sim, do you get ATC commands? Yes, on VATSIM, I've got a tutorial series if you wanted to get started on that. You basically speak to real people as if it was ATC. Come on, aeroplane, start the turn. This is where track FPA is really good for us because we can see there with the crosswind, we can see the bird, so we can see the aircraft's position relative to our heading track, which is really good for us, especially for this low-vis RNAV approach. The only bug is we can't set FPA without leaving 1500, so what we have to do is set it to pretty much sort of our minimums, correction there for the weather. What we'll have to do is activate that and then change to that 3-degree glide slope. But when finals.
152 Romeo entering clouds at flight level 130.
Gibraltar traffic, speedbird 4902 is a 8-mile finals to land on our runway 27. So mandatory at that waypoint, 1,500. And then from there, in fact, you know what I could do? I could trick the aircraft. Let's see if this works. No, it doesn't work. Let's take that over. This doesn't like more than 0.3, that's fine. We'll hold it there, shall we? I thought I could try and trick it, but we can't. You see, yeah, great timing. Thanks for tuning in. So 2,500 meters away from the runway, we should get visual. So this is really challenging for me. I've not done anything like this in the sim before. I was trying to trick the aeroplane. I kind of wish I didn't now, because we should have been at 1,500 right now to start our 3-degree glide slope. That would have helped us. So, Knox came in because we're on an RNAV approach.
52 Romeo, type Airbus 380 at Primus, flight level 90.
Maybe that's, have I worked that out nicely? 5 miles. Let's do 1.8 for now. Good grief, this weather's terrible. Minimums was 465. And that's pretty much when I think the runway's going to become visible. Yes, yeah, that's correct. So for the RNAV approach, you've got to select approach phase. Let's go down to that, shall we? And that should now be a 3-degree. The aircraft is mucking about, so let's get that nose back down to 3 degrees. That's 5. There's the water. Good grief.
100 above.
Is that the approach lights? Oh, I thought I could see them.
500. Minimum.
Minimums, and we've just got the approach lights there, guys. Just through the fog. Wow.
300.
Oh, and we've got 2 red, 2 white. I was just about to go around. Wow, look at this. Whoa, that wind is absolutely throwing me now.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Down. Gibraltar traffic, speedbird 492, backtrack on runway 27, just for the information of aircraft inbound. There is low visibility down to 500 feet. Wowee. What I didn't have time to do is set the missed approach altitude, which we should have done, but because of the bug that doesn't let us go down with flight path angle, we couldn't do that. David, I think you're right. I do like a challenge. This is why, as we were saying earlier, we need a bit of separation, about 4 minutes or so roughly between aircraft, just to help with separation, because we've got to backtrack. I've just got a weird... why can't I turn? Come on. There we go. XR, yeah, we didn't hear Spain. Ben, thank you. Commentator, nice. It was something, wasn't it? Jake Butter. I think if it was another second or so later, I would have gone around. And to be honest, I was considering it just to reset the arrival because of mucking up that final approach. Good grief, who's that coming in? Definitely said I was on a backtrack still. Oh dear. There's someone really low there as well. Where's the runway? There's no way I can get off in time for them. There's the infamous road guys as well. Oh, golly gosh. Come on. Gibraltar traffic, speedbird 492, runway vacated. Technically haven't though. Come on. Whew. That's a tight one. Jahi, thank you. Very slippery wet runway. That crosswind was certainly difficult to contend with. Got the APU firing up as well, so who's that just landed? Still floating. Well, I think we're about to watch somebody go off the end. Oh, he's done it, I think. It's interesting, with that 30-knot crosswind on the runway, the aircraft actually didn't want to turn at the end of the runway there, so it was quite difficult. Oh, well, he's down. Who's next? Down below, it's interesting because it doesn't look that bad when you're looking out, but we'd have been completely obscured still. It's always worrying when you can see the sea out of the window before the runway, and it's very close. So that's I think that was Wesley. I think this is Echo. I enjoyed that landing. That was quite cool. That's a good little test there. There's the rock. And the little road. How's his backtrack coming along? He's got to get off. He's got about a minute before he's down. If you've enjoyed the stream today, do click the like button, and if you haven't already done so, click subscribe as well. Join us as a frequent flyer. Be sure to join us on Saturday and Sunday as well. We'll be visiting Colombia and Ecuador, so we'll go from Bogota to Quito on Sunday, but on Saturday we're going to be heading... I forget where we're going to be heading. Somewhere nice. Echoes are on finals, and he's just cleared. We're almost out of stand space. APU on. Let's turn engines off. Yeah, because I'll do the same sometimes, to be fair. Very
Gibraltar traffic, Lufthansa 152 Romeo, on final, runway 27.
Speedbird 101 already on gate.
So we can spawn steps, I think. We can spawn catering, baggage. So using the pillar pilot, nice one, thank you.
Subject 9 Echo, 15-mile final, Gibraltar.
Got loads of people coming in, wow. So thanks to the FS2 Crew Pushback Express, I've started the ball rolling with turnarounds, so steps, catering, baggage, etc. all going on there. Echo's on finals, Martin's behind him on finals as well. Thanks for you guys for flying with us today and joining us. Miami to Toncontin, Neil, thank you. I knew it was one of those. I knew it was another challenging approach. Yeah, so on Saturday we're going to land at Toncontin, and we'll be using live weather for that as well. So, because why not? Set ourselves another challenge. XR, yeah, the one landing now is BA again, and then we've got Lufthansa flying in. There we go, Echo, Speedbird 490. I'm looking for butter. What was great there was the METAR, bearing in mind the sim, we're using Microsoft Flight Simulator's live weather METAR there. Few clouds at 600, broken at 1000. It was kind of overcast to about 500, so it wasn't far off, but it was a little
traffic,
severe, I guess.
152 Romeo, 5-mile final.
The 2.5 kilometre visibility, though, I think that was absolutely bang on.
Stand, just out of interest, you guys heading back to Heathrow?
Which is good. So it has been significantly improved. I do wonder what Unreal Weather would have done. I'm tempted to turn that on actually and see. So here comes Echo. Oh, and there's the Lufthansa right behind as well. Good grief, he's a bit close. There's nowhere for him to go except for go around, really. Echo's landed at the rock. Let's see what happens if we turn Unreal Weather on. See what the difference is. We'll give it a second just to refeed. There we go. No, we're not turning around back to Heathrow, I'm afraid. Oh, so it actually looks like Microsoft Flight Simulator's weather was a lot more severe. Unless it's not really feeding in. Let's click. Wow. So that's what Unreal Weather would have given us. William, yeah, have a little look.
Traffic, Lufthansa 152 Romeo, 500 feet from the runway.
Oh dear, Martin's gonna have to go around, I think. Yeah, so this is Unreal Weather. The visibility looks a lot better. If I put it back onto, mind you, the sim took a little while actually. What is that? Is that an A380? Has Martin seriously come in an A380? How do we find that out? Let's have a little look at VATScan. I've done some weird model matching work there. I was looking at it going, why's it got 4 engines?
Lufthansa 152 Romeo, going around.
Gibraltar traffic, 6-mile final, runway 27, Gibraltar.
That's a 737 on the way in. It was an A380. Martin's in an A380. Wow, that matched quite well. I'm impressed. We're gonna have to watch that one. And we got the Tomjet 737 flying in. Yeah. So on my VATS scan it shows Martin's in an A380. Wow. I'll definitely be waiting for that second attempt then. He must be really light. Barely any fuel, no passengers, no cargo. Max auto brake. He could probably get it in, but it would never get back out again. There we go. Right, I wonder where he is. We won't be able to see him now, will we? He's in the thick of it somewhere behind the rock. There's the Thompson jet. Yeah, XL yeah, definitely. Bit of land grabbing going on. Are there any stands left? I worry that this whoever this is coming in is going to get upset. There's one stand left.
Ship of the traffic, Lufthansa 152 Romeo. Making another go. Airbus 380. Inbound, runway 27.
Good luck. I mean, that was challenging enough in an A320.
Lufthansa 152. After you landed runway 27, do a U-turn at the end of
So this is MSFS
runway
live weather.
09, and then go
And that's
back
pretty good.
into Echo, and then there's a very, very big tarmac for you to park your A380 in.
It's
Copy.
Sam in the 7378.
180 and exit Echo. Lufthansa 152 Romeo.
That's probably the more accurate feed. Bang on. He's down. So these are the IVAO AI models that we're using. And they seem to be working quite nicely. Nice bit of brakes towards the end. He's going to backtrack, and we're going to wait for Martin in his A380. Puerto Rican pilot, hello, welcome. So with the Mega Pack, I've got a VMR file that I've created that matches the liveries basically as best as possible, but in addition to that I've downloaded the IVAO model files, and there's William actually, I think, was on about it in the Discord server yesterday, so I've actually downloaded that VMR file, which is quite good. Echo 121 foot per minute in this weather, that's impressive. As always, you guys can feel free to join us for the Miami to Toncontin on Saturday, and fly along with us if you wish to. We'll be on VATSIM and Unicom as always for that tricky approach, and we'll be using live weather. And hopefully it'll be as bad as it is today for Gibraltar, which is quite good. I mean, that weather was absolute minimums for runway visual range, but bordering on, like as we were saying earlier, should have really been a bit of a go around. Echo, yeah, nice. Minus 150 foot, that's nice. Where's Martin then? Anyone see him on VAT scan or VAT spy? He's got to be breaking through this cloud shortly. 500 foot of weather though, that was madness. I do like the Gibraltar, the handmade asobo model. It is quite nice. For a small airport, I think, because it's tiny and there's very little detail, but they've put the road and things in. It's quite nice, I think.
I'm pretty sure your tarmac just got stolen by a Boeing 737.
And of course, this is the English side of Gibraltar proper with the rock, which is quite nice to see in the sim. And then over there, Spain. David says the A380's downwind. Well, I'm more than, I don't know about you guys, I'm more than happy to wait for Martin to get down. We'll see how it goes for him. See if he ends up in the Mediterranean. I've got 35 Xbox Gamer points there. SIDS and Stars achievement apparently. Oh, and I think Biden's just been sworn in. If you haven't already done so, have a little look at our VATSIM tutorial mini-series. Help you get started on the VATSIM network. Hopefully Martin's not diverting. Might just be going round for a nice wide approach straight in. Yeah, that's it, XR. You could do it, Martin. His approach was looking good the first time round, so I'm sure he would be coming back in again. Turning in now. There we go. Here we go. Looking forward to it. Wesley's heading out for the A380. Just try not to get in his way if he's coming in again. I'm sure he wouldn't want to do a second go around. He's got to be on finals now, surely. 10-12 mile finals or something. How long of a delay is there on VATSPY? Gerald, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. Hope you've enjoyed the stream today. Two-minute refresh, doing odd circles. Fingers crossed he makes it in. Would be good. It'd be good to see it. He's 1,500. Wow, yeah. Wesley, try not to get in his way. So it's got to be...
Lufthansa 152, are you diverting or something?
Lufthansa 152 Romeo on 15 mile final. 15 mile final.
There we go, he's on finals. Yeah.
Seabird 101 taking off using half the runway Gibraltar.
Is that lights? Maybe it's just me tricking myself. He'll be in a second now. Roger Moore, no, unfortunately not. Yeah, my sim did it very briefly on arrival. Quite frustrating. I'm not sure how to turn it off. I don't know if there is a way. Did Wesley end up in the water? It wouldn't surprise me. I have no idea where he is. He's a boat somewhere out there in the bay. I wish I'd watched him actually now take off. Where is Martin? So it should be where the ship is and then left. Echo, he's on finals.
We've got 101 negative, I'm not in the water.
Here we go. Whistling out for cruises. COVID secure cruises back to the UK.
152 Romeo. 10 mile final.
There we go. Oh yeah, so on VAT scan he was just showing on a base turn, end of his base turn. There's no pressure. We're all watching. And that rain's coming back in nice and heavy as well. Good grief. So this is pretty much how it was when I landed, wasn't it? That is pretty low. There's the rock with his sweeping winds. Sorry if that 360 spin there with the cameras made you dizzy. We should see Martin very soon coming out through the cloud in that sort of area where the cursor is. And we'll see that A380 land. Just as this weather's closing in again, really nasty. You can sort of see where the cloud base is actually. I wonder how high we could go before we lose the cloud. We're pretty much at the cloud base now, look. Good grief, that is low, isn't it? That's what we flew into. Oh, lovely, a cemetery. It's good to see they've significantly improved that Microsoft Flight Simulator Live weather, because it is very, very good now. Maybe a bit too severe. Yeah, everybody's waiting for that A380. And set plenty of space from there. If he makes it. There's plenty of space in the water as well at the end of the runway. That cloud's just dropped even more. Wow. Leon, yeah. Imagine, you know what, he might. This visibility is getting really bad. You know what, if we'd have landed now, we would have probably had to divert. Because I wouldn't have seen the runway at all until the last 5-10 seconds. It was close enough as we made our way in anyway. I can't see him. Where is he? No pressure, Martin. You've only got 45 people watching. I'm going to see if the A380 can actually make it. Short finals now. Well, yeah, Wesley, try not to cut in front of him. He's on short finals behind you now. We don't want him having another go around. Oh, there he is. Martin, just continue as planned. Ignore Wesley, he's just touched down in front of you, but just continue and land. He's vacated already anyway. Where's he gone? There he is, through the murk, very high. Oh dear. Wesley's, oh, I don't know how he's done that. Hollywood wheels. Martin's going in for a low final sweeping turn. This shows how bad the weather is. He's doing it. Committed. He's down.
Come on, Lufthansa. Full brakes.
He's done it, I think. Is he? Still going a bit quick.
You made it!
Shut up.
Nice. There we go. Well done.
Lufthansa 152 Romeo. Backtracking.
Good work. That is impressive. If he can turn. Not quite sure how you're going to backtrack that tiny little space. That's impressive. I wonder if anyone could work it out, maybe if an A380 could actually ever fit into Gibraltar. And also, Martin, are you using Microsoft Flight Simulator or are you using something else like X-Plane? close. He's close to the edge. He's done it. Mine, great work. I'm impressed that's made it in. There we go, and Gibraltar's pretty much full. In fact, there's nowhere for him to park. I doubt it. That Abad Studios A380 is just a rip, so I really don't recommend downloading anything like that or paying for it. Fly-by-wire are making an A380 for the sim, and it's going to be really good as well. So even if we have to wait, it's better than downloading stuff like that. But there we go. We've all made it into Gibraltar, including Martin in the A380. Be sure to join us on Saturday. We're going to do Miami to Toncontin for the really difficult arrivals there. And on Sunday, we're going to be flying into Quito from Bogota in Colombia. So good action-packed weekend of some challenging approaches. Hope you've enjoyed today's stream. If you're new, do make sure you click that subscribe button down below, and be sure to tune in on the weekend for some more streams. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of the week.